Hello and welcome to the last American Pubcast. I'm Abby Libby, Twitter menace. I'm here with PJ, conspiracy pilled co-host.
What's going on, Abby? How's it going?
You're supposed to say hi.
Yeah. I was just thrown off by name change.
Oh, and Tom from America Floats.
Hello. How are we? Ahoy.
Ahoy, everybody. Get it together.
This is why we don't normally let Abby do the intros. So
it's 5 p.m. Mountain Time, everyone. If you're in the mountains, crack one. Yee!
But we had to let her have this one because it's Women's History Month, guys. So
yeah,
we let her do two things.
And that means we give the women something.
Oh,
yeah, we let her do the intro and we let her make the sandwiches.
Oh, Waffle Seltzer already over on Rumble yelling, drink for $50.
So, what are you drinking tonight, PJ?
I have a Perrin Black Ale.
Okay.
The bar that we all met at.
Yeah.
The three of us met in person, Perrin.
Yeah. That happened.
I first laid eyes on you.
Yeah.
So weird.
That you worded it that way. And
I saw you from across the bar.
Yeah.
That did happen.
It was magical.
It was. My wife was like, that's him. And I go, that is him. Thank you, Waffle Salter, for the super chat. And thank you all.
Oh, my God.
Did you have one already? I appreciate everyone who's here. If you could hit the like button, share a link to the show. We're just getting underway. Abby's got a huge announcement. But before she gets to it, we just wanted to say thank you again for all of your camaraderie, your patronage, your patriotism, and your audienceship. It's been a lot of fun watching and talking with each of you, and it was a lot of nice times hanging out with you guys on Thursdays and Saturdays, and even this Friday of all time. So Craxton Jackson with he's got another one. Drink number 2. So you got something.
I have.
Abby's going to be wasted before 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I have a whole bottle of wine. It's a red sangria that goes down real nice, and I'm in trouble. So yeah.
Well, nice. Here's a good one from Lit to answer before you two saw. PJ and Tom sandwiches in honor of Women's History Month. What's your favorite?
I'll go first if you'd like,
yeah.
Because I told her already. She's got a name.
Hershey
somewhere. Hershey. Hey now, she's not in Pennsylvania.
Oh,
my yeah. Oh my God, what am I, Faye Johnstone? That Adam's apple and red hair. He's quite the looker, frankly. I thought he had nice hair. I was like, wow, Faye, you got some decent locks going, dude. What are you treating that with?
Looks like James O'Keefe in drag.
He looks like James O'Keefe
but the hair,
had a prison baby with Shaun White. They were hitting the slopes, if you know what I'm saying. He was powing the powder. Rear entry. Okay, so
let's get back to sandwiches.
So my favorite sandwich is when I was in elementary school and when I was in elementary and middle school, my mom would be standing at the door going, "You haven't eaten yet?" And you'd go, "Oh, I'm not gonna eat. I don't want any breakfast." And then within 45 to 90 seconds, somewhere within there, and it was that quick, she'd have a fried egg with a slice of cheese melted into a toasted English muffin, and it was wrapped in foil, and that was in your hands, and you were walking out the door with a sandwich that you kind of resented but also 10 seconds later, you were super happy you had and you ate it on the way. So that was my favorite sandwich because my mom would have that thing like that. And I couldn't appreciate it until I look back on it and go, damn, that was really nice that she did that.
Yeah,
That's really sweet.
for me, if you take 2 pieces of Little Caesars pizza and put them together, is that a sandwich? That's how I
thought you were
always
gonna
say
say
Caesars. I don't know.
The KFC double down, but no, it's the Little Caesars ranch sandwich.
Oh no, not ranch. I don't like ranch and pizza. Just 2 slices of pizza together. Sandwich.
Canceled.
That doesn't count then
All right.
meatball sub, I guess.
Okay.
Just any meatball sub.
If you want to get on that now that you have our orders.
Oh.
On wheat.
You tweeted it, not me. What was your tweet? What was your tweet for Women's History Month?
It was
my
insane.
tweet was in honor of Women's History Month. Tell me, name your favorite sandwich, Ben. I didn't say I would make it. I just said name it and think about how hungry
it was
you
implied.
are.
It was implied. So
hey, while we're asking questions, Blankets had a hyper chat on Odyssey. Blankets asks, which alt tech platforms have surprised you the most in a positive way? And which alt tech platforms have disappointed you? Mine's, you can now supermine someone. With Odyssey, there's discovery portals, and with Rumble, you can sync your YouTube channel. Which one do you guys like the best?
we have the most people on Rumble, but I'm starting to love Odyssey a lot. So I love kind of playing them off each other because they're both great platforms. I think they do things differently. Both have their positives. I'd like to see Odyssey be bigger than it is because I think it's actually really cool. Just to be completely honest, if Odyssey was as established as Rumble, I'd probably like it better. But I do love Rumble, so
okay,
that's my opinion.
I think I have a friend who works at Rumble, so I'm a little bit partial.
Biased is what you mean. You mean you're
biased.
biased.
I'm a little bit
biased.
I'm partial. No, partial is when it's like a family member.
I'm biased. But we're also doing we got
Yeah, you're doing real well over on Rumble.
300 views on our last episode on YouTube and like 1,300 on Rumble with fewer subscribers. It's ridiculous.
How many subs
Rumble
do you have on
is
Rumble
great.
now?
1350, something like that.
Yeah.
God bless America.
So 100% sub to view ratio.
Yeah,
What's that?
It is. We have 100% sub to view ratio on Rumble or more.
You know who has the opposite
and
of
on
that?
YouTube, it's like 20%.
Who?
I do know.
It's not me. You know.
So that kind of brings us, not naming any names, but we're definitely going to kind of why the Pubcast is ending. And from my point of view, and you guys can absolutely add in, I think there's 2 reasons why. The first is that Frank ruined it. He brought us all on. He recruited us. This is gonna be a little bit tough. I didn't really even want to talk about these things.
Wait, can I pause? Can we just for a moment, just because I want to lighten the mood a little bit, and it is kind of tense, and I already don't like where this is going. And I already told Waffle Salter privately, I was like, I'm gonna tear up before the end of the show.
Yeah.
So
guys,
before the show's over, I'm definitely gonna be in tears. But not for sale, and it's not for sale. Very punny. Very good guy on Rumble. Thank you. God bless you. He says Tom looks like an extra straight out of The Patriot. Mel Gibson.
I just watched that movie. I think he's
but
right.
with a beard shaved. And you know what? That's the thing I was going for. I want to have, that Thomas, and he's got the ribbon in the back. That's what I wanted. So if you've been thinking like, oh, that guy's been growing his hair out for why? That's why. Right there. Because I want to look like Thomas from The Patriot, and then I'll get shot in the gut trying to defend my brother.
Well, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
It's in the movie, you guys.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Waffle Salter.
Don't watch
Waffle
movies.
Salter says, keep the show alive and I'll stop. Abby, you see what he
Stop
sent?
what? We don't want you to stop. What?
See?
Stop what?
On Rumble, on Odyssey. And this is, hey, to your point, I like Odyssey and Rumble, and it's like a 1 and 1A situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like I actually do like Odyssey a tiny bit better, but just because they were there for me when YouTube failed, YouTube killed me, and Odyssey was there with open arms, and they accepted everything. And I loved that. And I could make money on that immediately. And that saved me.
Yeah.
So I love Odyssey. Odyssey is home base. And even if home means it's small town, you're going to go to the big city at Rumble. That's fine. I'll venture out to the big city being Rumble, but that's going to be home away from home. Home is Odyssey. It's like a 1-in-1A situation. But that being said, also Odyssey gives you the opportunity to create tiers. So you guys need to create tiers on Odyssey. And then on Conspiracy Pilled, people can support you monthly for tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and they can have access to, exclusive content. Like for instance, on the America Floats channel, we have a 5S stream, a super secret Sunday supporter stream, where you can only access it if you are supporting monthly. If you're on locals, then you have a link sent to your email. If you're on Rumble and you're doing Ko-Fi, then you have a link sent to your email. If you're on Odyssey, you have exclusive access, and it's perfect. And it's what I was telling Frank 2 months ago, but we couldn't get through because of the low IQ. Well, he can't fucking read. So what am I supposed to say? Waffle Salter, thank you for the $100 super chat. That's what I was getting around to.
Holy smokes.
You sent $100 on Odyssey, and it's a blessing. So thank you.
Waffle's been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
All of you have.
Yeah,
seriously, this has been
every one of you.
This has been so much fun for me. When did we even start this? July of 2022, something like that.
It was in the summer. Yeah.
It couldn't have been too long after that because in like the 3rd or 4th week after June, it was June, July, and then I went and got married.
Right.
Got married.
Fucking, what was I thinking?
And now you're pregnant.
Yeah, I know. Hey, stick the landing.
Justin, this is a sassy episode. It is sassy. It's it's going to be full of all kinds of emotions because you guys have been absolutely
I'm all over
amazing.
the place. I might have to bow out for 5 minutes and collect myself outside.
Let's just get the hard part over with.
Yeah.
So
then jokes and drinks.
I was so excited to get invited onto the Pubcast. Frank invited me on. You guys were already there. Frank invited me on because he saw me on PJ's show, and it's been really, really fun, and I've loved the entire audience. And I was felt so blessed that a big YouTuber like Frank thought something of me and thought I could.
Is that your house, Tom?
No, that's me.
No.
Oh, I'm like, where's the sirens coming from?
No.
Abby's
no,
getting
I'm just waving at Susudio 0530. Susudio. There's some people in the chat who I just recognize their names. So I'm waving.
There's just a fire truck cruising the neighborhood for fun, I think.
I'll just say this. Frank and I started doing a show like 2 years ago now, which seems fucking crazy to think about, like that Frank and I were talking about different things more than 2 years ago. I can't see the Rumble and Odyssey. Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Yep, sorry.
No, you're good.
I don't know why it's not working
Continue.
for me.
I got
I
it.
appreciate it. Keep going.
So Frank and I started doing the and it was his idea, and it was a golden idea. It was such a good idea to have 4 people on the screen, 1 host, 3 contestants, all punditry, and each round the person gets voted off who didn't have a good answer for the prompt, and you do 3, interest pieces or issues per night. And on those nights, you have those 3 people talk about 3 issues, and there's a last man standing who had a good, overall opinion on the issues. It was a fun way for people to kind of talk. We ended that show because there wasn't a good way for the first and second person to stick around and hang out during the show while they got voted off. So it wasn't fun for the viewer. Like, we had more of people watching on the beginning than the end, which doesn't make any sense for a show. So we cut that, and then we regrouped it, and we put together this idea for a Last American Pubcast. And it wasn't called that at the time, but it was just hey, can we put together 4 people we really like and we get along with, who we can discuss politics with? And that had multiple iterations, turned into 2 people, turned into 4, turned into 3, turned into a different 4, cut 2 more, add 3 more, cut the other 1. Now there's 4, and that 4 was PJ, myself, Frank, and Abby. Did I bring us up to speed? Now I'll be quiet and Abby can take over.
So when I was brought on, Frank invited me on, and I told him right off the bat, I was like, I'm just starting up this new show with PJ. I'm excited about this opportunity, but my first priority is always going to be conspiracy pilled. That's what I committed to first. And he's like, totally, totally. And he told me, we divide the money 25% even across the board. You get 25, PJ gets 25, I get 25, Tom gets 25. And we knew that he was streaming to his channel too. And so, whatever the views, ad revenue gave him on his channel would be all his, but all the super chats would get divided 4 ways. And it didn't matter a whole lot because not a lot of money was coming in, and money's not that big of a deal anyway. But things kind of progressed, and we started to feel like we were on a little bit of a shaky foundation as far as how things were set up, how things were being led. Some days we were told this is an equal partnership, and then some days we were being told your opinion doesn't matter at all. And when I went to go visit PJ, he sat me down, when we were in person over Christmas. He sat me down and said, Abby, do you know that I'm being paid more than you?
And for the record, at that point, we were all planning to meet up. So we were all planning to have a Pubcast hangout and get together because it's the holidays and your favorite members of the Pubcast were going to get together and talk to each other in real life, in real person, and say, hey, we're going to sit in Perrin. And yeah, I did shave my face. I know it's crazy, right? Yeah. I know. Hey, it turns out my skin does exist under my face.
Right. But this was the day before that we all were going to meet up and have drinks. And
that's what I was trying to just to set the table for. Like we were planning to meet up. And so you had to sit down and talk.
Right. And I want to be clear. I want to be really, really clear. This situation is not about the money. It's not that we weren't making enough. It's not that we weren't happy. It's not that we aren't happy.
I'm already poor. That doesn't have any effect.
Exactly. We really like each other. I would be doing this if I was making absolutely nothing. This has nothing to do with however much we were supported. This has nothing to do with being jealous of Frank for making more than us. Nothing about any of it. What it came down to was PJ sat me down and said, do you know that I'm being paid more? And basically Tom, you guys all have these generic male names and I get them mixed up.
True.
Frank wanted
Tom's
PJ.
so generic. It's such a dumb fucking name. I'm going to go tell all the people that name me that. I'll be right back.
Frank knew that PJ had a lot to offer. PJ is so incredibly good at all of the production things, all of the thumbnails, all of the cutting, and Frank was getting a lot of work out of PJ, and he felt bad for it. So he decided to, without telling me or Tom, to pay PJ more for the amount he was using him.
Right. Frank told PJ, hey, you're doing a lot of the production work on thumbnails, on making clips, on putting together the posts and putting all the things in line and then hitting go. All those things. He said, well, you're doing them, so you'll get paid a fraction more. But that would make that and everyone agrees on the screen that you're seeing right now. That makes sense if we all know it and agree to it and are fine with it. Because we all would have been fine with it. We were all giddy, like, yeah, of course that makes sense, but why didn't he say something about it?
Well, that's why.
And then when asked, he lied.
Well, that's why I brought it up to you guys, because I took it for granted that everybody knew. And then at some point I was like, I don't think they know. And I'm not like, it was another conversation that I'd had with Frank outside of this, where I was like, oh shit, I don't think that they were told. And it wasn't even like you guys said. It's like, if I'm doing extra work and I get paid extra, that would have been something we probably would have all agreed on. But it wasn't about the money. It was just like, hey, if we're being told we're equal partners and I'm getting paid more, I don't feel comfortable with that. I would rather that we all had agreed to it. And that was the whole thing. It was just like, you can't tell people this is evenly split. Also, I'm the dictator. Also, you get a say. Also, it's not evenly split, but you don't know it. Like, that was the whole thing.
This right here.
See, this is why we all would have been okay with it. 70 cents on the dollar needs to just be put forward.
That's what it was.
When PJ told me, you guys, I could it and when it
was
all
just
because
Tom was getting paid less. Abby getting paid less made sense.
I could tell PJ just felt sick about the whole thing, and then we were like, we have to sit down with Tom and talk about this. So as soon as we were able to, we sat down, we compared notes.
We were at the bar and we were like, oh yeah, so that's happening, huh? Look at my face. Look at the surprise.
Imagine
oh,
the
wow.
shock. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
was like,
we all.
big surprise. We came back to my house and we're like, so we kind of all saw this coming. Yeah. Okay. And hey, when you ask Frank, what was the number on that night? And he goes, oh, I don't know. I'll have to look and let you know. That's a weird thing. It's a weird thing to ask, hey, how much was sent to the super chats on the night we just finished? You go, I'll have to look. I'll let you know. It's like you have to look and then do the math and then cut your own out and then let me know the other total. Because that's what it was, folks. If you're watching at home, we believe we got our due, but because we had to argue and fight for it and make a kid feel like he was 1 to 3, which it was.
Yeah, we sat down for the pubcast that night and we were like, "Hey Frank, we just need to talk." And going into that, it was not our intention to ruin anything. We wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt that it had been. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt that it had been a mistake. And we
did
sat
that.
him down. Yeah, and we were
did
like,
Gave him that out, and he didn't take
We-
it. He doubled down. He stared at
Yeah.
you and I, and he said, "Tom, you can get screwed."
Yeah.
Go
I'll be
roll
honest.
through it. Roll
Can
through
I-
it because I don't want to tell it. Someone else describe it because I'll be heated.
Can I say something really quick? And I don't mean to interrupt you, Abby, but there's
Please.
something I just want to get in here. Is that, well, I have to, can't let a woman talk this long, even during Women's History Month. What the hell?
And Tom, that's like 2.
Waffle, holy smokes.
"Oh,
You are the best, Waffle. Seriously. You guys are amazing. You guys are all amazing. So
Waffle,
the only
God.
reason, yeah, seriously. The only reason that when this all happened, okay, let me put it this way. We all wanted to give Frank that out. And the only reason we're even talking about this, because I know it's a bunch of drama you guys probably don't want to hear, but we were trying to be quiet on this. It was a bunch of behind the scenes stuff and then not behind the scenes stuff that started happening. It was like, we didn't want to make you look bad. We didn't want to talk about it. We were willing to continue to do our thing. And we can talk about what those things were if we get to it. But my point is, we will. But my point is, we were never going to talk about this. Like,
Yep.
I hate having to do this.
We were going to let it go and be done.
I hate drama. I hate bad mouthing people. I hate even if they deserve it, I hate it. But what the one unforgivable thing that happened that night that we talked to Frank was Tom was the first one to speak. And I kind of wanted to see how he was going to treat Tom because I know they've known each other for a long time. And his initial response was, I'm taking 50%. I deserve it. I'm the boss. Screw you. There's the door.
And I asked Frank just straight up.
That upset me so badly because I knew him far less time than Tom did. And my thought is, if that's how you treat a friend of years, that says something about you that I don't feel comfortable with.
I'll just add that, like, I started off the conversation with Frank there on that side of the screen. I think it was the same setup. It was the same setup, but for Frank right there. And Frank just told me that after I told him, like, hey, we looked at these numbers. I looked at these different streams. I looked at what was sent. I looked at the chat. I went back and listened to all the totals and did the math. And there's no way that we only earned X. And for you at home watching, just assume that X is half of whatever the X was. Because we were told, hey, we're making, I guess, so much. And then, I do the cuts and then it becomes this. And when we ask, what does the cut end up being? What, how do you break it up? It ended up becoming an admission that it was 50% to Frank. And then you look at the Last American Pubcast and split it 4 ways because he thought he was the owner manager and also a part of the show and not just the show. And so imagine our shock when we hear that was the way that it was treated.
Yeah. Tom presented all of this to Frank, and Frank basically told him, you guys would be nothing.
Leave.
Yeah, you can leave. If you don't like it, there's the door. And he told us that we would be nothing without him.
Oh yeah, no, and Frank was going to tell you that he was going to do the show just the same without me. He goes, well, if you don't like it, Tom, if you don't like the way I'm splitting this up,
door.
He goes, you can leave and you don't have to be a part of the Pubcast anymore. And I'll just do the show with Abby and PJ. And I kid you not, my heart leapt when Abby said, actually, Frank, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong, kiddo. She was like, well, that's actually, Frank, that's where you're wrong because we actually agree. Like, we don't want to. And I love that you jumped in on that because, yeah, Frank said, Tom, you can just go. If you don't like it, if you don't like getting robbed and lied to and misrepresented and screwing your fans and screwing your audience and screwing the people at home, if you don't like it, leave the show. I said, Frank, you're done with the show. Actually, you know what I said was, Frank, I think we have a misunderstanding of who's taking over the show going forward.
Yeah.
And then he goes, what? And then Abby, I believe you said something.
I don't remember every single thing, but I remember saying, like, he's not alone. Like, we are all together in this. And I made it clear to Frank.
That's
I was
what
like,
you said.
I don't
Tom's
care
not
about the
alone.
money. Yeah, he's not alone. I said, I don't care about the money, but I hate being lied to. I really, really hate being lied to and taken advantage of. And I trusted Frank. I trusted Frank on such a deep level. There were things that I shared with him that I have shared with very few people in my life. And now I know that he's in his group chats saying that he has dirt on me. And I can only imagine that that is what he thinks he has. And it's
which
that
is a
I was,
weak as hell thing to do. By the way,
yeah,
as a guy, I don't know if I have dirt on people because I don't think that way.
right.
If someone's confided in me, it's clearly something that they have thought of. But
Yeah.
I'll put it this way. Someone who goes, oh, I have dirt on them. They were never your friend because they heard the thing that you told them and thought that was dirt they could hold over you. And now later looking back on it, it's inventoried as dirt to hold over so-and-so. Like, you know what? The idiocy of Frank is that the dirt to hold over someone was like a mistaken date or an email that was said the wrong word or something silly that he thinks is a big deal. You know what's a big deal? Not being able to fucking talk, not being able to speak English and pronounce certain words in the order that they are written. That is needed when you're doing news commentary. I don't know why you have 200,000 subs and you can't do that.
Yeah.
And if you think that I'm having a low blow or I'm punching low or whatever, then you know this is 2 years pent up angst of a guy who thought Frank was his friend.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wearing a sweatshirt that says I thought Frank was the friend. I did two shows with Frank.
Low blow is saying all these people are too small. Also, I have dirt on them, like, which we saw was public. So like, that's a low blow to say, hey, I'm going to go after a channel with 2,000 subs and say I have dirt on them. But they're also so small, they're insignificant in the same sentence, doesn't make any sense. So that's punching down. This is not punching down. And I'll say this too. Again, I said this before. I really didn't want to ever talk about this because I would rather come here and give you guys commentary and news and funniness and whatever. And I hate even doing this, but it was specifically that message about Abby that set me off. And it wasn't that I wasn't here ready to defend Tom either. It was
but
just
I can stand on my own. It was when Frank goes to say, now, not only is it Tom that's going to catch the ire of Frank, which is a big, but also Abby is now going to, I'm going to tell on Abby. It's like, you know what? A man doesn't attack a lady.
In that way, especially, at all. But like specifically, it was such a low, dirty.
That's what I'm saying.
Thing.
It looks like an attack.
It was over the top for me. That was
like
too
PJ.
far.
If I said, "Hey, I know something about your wife that is terrible, but I won't say it," you know what that does? It tells the whole community there's something terrible about PJ's wife to know. Whether or not they know
whether
it.
or not it's true. And there's nothing about Abby, by the way. Frank doesn't have dirt on Abby.
No,
duh. That's the whole thing I wanted to make.
Yeah.
I wanted to make a point without saying it that way. I want people to get to that point thinking, Frank said they have something on PJ. Frank says he has something on Abby. Frank says he has something on Tom. How does that make sense? It doesn't. Frank is a duper, liar, cheater, thief. And he'll do that forever because he thought YouTube would always allow it.
Yeah. I want to say a couple things and get through kind of this narrative, and then we can keep going off. But I don't want to get too lost. But
we have news to talk about.
When Frank thought only Tom was confronting him, he was awful. He told us
He told me to get. He was basically like, he stared into the camera and was like, "Well, Tom, if you don't like it, this can be your last pubcast." It was very like, "Fuck you. There's the door. Eat shit, you caught me, but you don't get to say." And, well, it didn't work out that way. Sorry, Abby, go ahead.
And even when he thought it was just me and Tom, he was saying, well, you guys would be nothing without me. I'm the big YouTuber here. I'm bringing everything to this channel. The only reason people watch is me. And it wasn't until PJ was like, actually, we're all in this together. And the person that Frank had been using, and Frank knew that his streams didn't look any good without all the production stuff. That was when he changed his story and he started pretending that it had been a mistake, and he started pretending that he just did the math wrong. And we sat there and we did the math, and he acted all awkward and stuff. And then we did the stream and we had a good time and we were ready to move on.
It was 48 minutes of us holding the YouTube screen up where you're looking at us three right now. We had us three on the side right there on that side.
Yeah.
And we were all looking at the YouTube page right here. So we were looking at views, dollars, views, dates, dollars, views, dates, dollars, and having to do totals. And then looking and saying, okay, we'll subtract that because that was from his channel. Okay, subtract that because that was from his channel. And then this was the total. Wow. 2.4 times what you said the total was. So you're not cheating or stealing or lying. You're doing all three.
Yeah.
So we were ready to pretend with him that it had been a mistake. We were ready to kind of give him that out. We got through the show. We had a good night. He promised that he would pay us when the payouts came, and he did. He did.
You guys remember seeing that stream? You guys all saw that show where we were super late. It was like 7:30. We got going live, and it was all four of us. It was a super late show, and it was the last show of all four of us.
Yeah. And then about a half an hour after the show, he texted us all to say that he felt so sorry for what he had done to us and that he couldn't in good conscience continue with the Pubcast. And so he quit the Pubcast that night. And then, a couple weeks later, he made the video that you probably all saw saying that he was exiting and that he was giving us his blessing. And wouldn't that have been nice if it had been true? We were ready to let it be true that he was just letting it go and giving us his blessing and encouraging you all to watch. But what did he start to do immediately after? He started streaming over top of us on Saturday nights. He had never streamed Saturday nights before without us, but then he started streaming over top of us. We said nothing about it. We quietly moved the stream to Thursday nights. And what did Frank do? He started streaming over top of us on Thursday nights. And he started sending people to unlike our videos, to unlike Tom's streams, to just passive aggressively cause trouble. He started passive aggressively interacting with me on Twitter, attack quote tweets, and liking comments that were unkind to me. Just trolling around on my Twitter, being a little dick. And I want to just say there's only one thing in the world that Frank knows about me that nobody else does. Only one thing that I haven't been incredibly public about, and that's just that my uncle hurt me when I was a little girl. That's it. That is the dirt that Frank thinks he has on me, that my uncle assaulted me. That's it. He has absolutely nothing else.
And that's nothing to be ashamed of, and that's nothing for Frank to hold over you.
And
No, but you can see why I was so damn pissed off when he said that, because I am one of the
trying to be
people
validating.
Trying to be no, I know, but I'm just telling you. I knew that Abby
I'm not softening this for Frank. I'm trying to soften this for Abby. I'm like, no, that's not. For the record, Abby, I'm only just now hearing that for the first time because as you told everyone just now, Frank's the only person that heard that. I didn't know that, but the fact that Frank was threatening to tell people I'm going to tell the world that Abby was assaulted by an uncle. You know what? That's the sickest thing I've ever heard. And I'm just now hearing it. And I might need a minute.
Yeah. And I can't prove that that's what he was talking about, but that's literally the only thing he could possibly have been referencing. He knows nothing. He has nothing there. I don't have dark, dirty secrets. I'm one of the most open people that you will probably meet. I just like to live my life open like that. I share a lot of things with a lot of people. That's why I shared it with him. I trusted him. It came up in conversation. He's a dad. It was a good conversation. I felt really good about it at the time. But I don't want to see that on Twitter. I don't want him to watch this stream and then to think I'm going to spill it. So that's why I'm telling you, because I want to be in control of the narrative. I want to get to tell my own story and not watch somebody else tell it for me. So that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. it literally leaves me speechless because I can't imagine saying that to someone and acting that way. And yeah, Abby is one of the sweetest and most open people I've ever met. So to think that anybody would say that.
Yeah, and
I'm sorry,
I'll tell
Abby.
you this.
I really am. I've got nothing to say.
I've
I'm
had
sorry.
my differences with Abby. We don't agree on every single thing. We've talked it through.
So hard sometimes.
We've had after show segments that are longer than the show segment that we were upset about. So I can tell you, like, Abby and I are not like always on the same page on everything, but boy, do we have each other's backs when it comes to the things that fucking matter.
Absolutely.
And this is one of those things that matter.
Yeah.
Tom and I are the types of personalities where if we start to go at it, we just go at it. And it's actually kind of funny.
And eventually you can see us either like, just iron sharpening iron, or you tape us to each other's backs and you make a fighting fiend. It's just
it'd be like I'll make a biblical reference here. It's like when Samson tied two foxes' tails together and threw them in the city.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you guys are.
And I love it. I think also one of the things that happened is that I could tell there was a toxic element in the system. And there was part of me that thought it was Tom and it was Frank. And as soon as we realized, I don't think we haven't beefed for a second after we found out it was Frank. It's been months.
I feel like we've become so closer, the three of us. And that's the thing I want to point out to chat, because I see people, asking what's going to happen next, things like that. I just want it to be very clear that all three of us are very good friends. We've become close over the last months.
Yes.
I couldn't be happier to be friends with you, Tom. I spent the night at Tom's house. We hung out and watched cartoons together and had pizza, and it was a good time.
Yeah, it was a nice time.
And Abby and her husband have come over to my house, and only a little bit. Yeah.
My wife is right now texting me saying, like, I can see why their streams are growing and yours isn't. I'm like, oh my God.
Your wife is also awesome, by the way. And Abby's
she's
husband's
accurate. That's for
sweetest.
sure.
Tom's wife is the absolute
God
sweetest.
bless it. She's like, I'm trying to be honest with you. I see their streams growing and yours isn't, and it annoys me to watch.
You guys should support Tom. Tom's a great guy.
Yeah, my wife doesn't, so you guys.
The
My
only
wife
thing
is the most supportive wife in the whole world. Abby, go ahead.
I was going to disagree with you, and then I realized my husband is not a wife. So.
Oh. Well, go ahead
That's
anyway.
true.
What's
That's true.
John
He's
the
not a
wife
wife.
doing for you lately?
John is the most supportive wife in the whole world. Okay.
Is he making the stream
Blankets-
sandwiches? Because I'm starting to get hungry, Abby, and you
Blankets,
haven't made me the meatball sub
Blankets
yet.
has some hyper chats, and he says Abby is awesome, and Abby is such
Aw.
a sweetheart. Love
Thank
you,
you.
Abby. He's got a
Thank
lot of love
you.
for Abby.
And-
Abby's being a little mean tonight. He says, JK, Abby, love you guys. So he's
Got a drink for
Aw.
Waffle over
He
on
was just teasing.
Rumble as well.
You got to go over to Odyssey and watch the Blankets chat.
Yeah. I have, so whenever I look off here, you guys, I'm looking at the chat. So I got Odyssey up here and Rumble down here. Waffle, thank you. Frank is asshole bummer. So you'll all make your own real
wait.
pubcast, and we'll all drink and be merry.
Are you saying that if you're a real streamer, Abby, that you would have more than one screen at some point?
Wait, Abby, are you saying that if you were going to do this, can I ask a question? If you were going to do this professionally, if you were going to do internet professionally and make this your business, would you have a 1, 2, C, 3, or D, as many screens as you can? 4. How many of those would you have? Would you just choose to have one screen only? Would it be one of those little old cubicle screens where you're just working on a computer screen?
You have to offset it with the cost of a snowball microphone.
My God.
You know what I would do? What I would do.
No one
if I was
knows
gonna
why
be
we're laughing, but it's hilarious.
I know, but
No.
to the tech people, it's hilarious.
And they do know.
I know.
If I was a professional YouTuber with 200,000 subs, I would
229.
definitely pay for an office. I would use all of my production budget to pay for a little office in some office complex, and then I would
gym.
Yeah, and then I would have a laptop and the worst camera and microphone I could find. Definitely only one screen. Yeah, but I would wear a suit. I would wear a suit randomly for a stream without telling anyone I was dressing up, just to look like the boss.
We are going to keep streaming together in the future, Susudio. Yeah. For right now, for reasons, not just Frank, but for other reasons, the Pubcast is going to be not a thing for a while. It doesn't mean that we're not going to be streaming together. We've had Frank. Wow. We've had Tom. Abby's right. All three of us guys had like really generic male names. Paul, Frank, Tom. Jeez. We've had Tom on Conspiracy Pilled, and we want to have him on again, and other things like that. We're working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So,
that's nice. Rum Hamlet on Odyssey says the only bad thing I can say about Float Show is it goes too long on the trans stuff. Gouge your eyes out kind of shit. Good to know. I will not show as much of the trans shit in the future. Trying to keep you away from it, but Rum Ham, he's had enough. He's had his fill. So we'll good to know.
I referenced there were 2 reasons why this is ending, and I think I do want to highlight the second one. It's that we're all doing so well with our other things. Like the Pubcast was always supposed to be this fun thing to do on the side, and Tom's streams are so successful. Like if you don't watch Tom's streams, what are you doing with your life? Go watch Tom's streams. They're amazing.
Got thousands of people watching.
Thousands. Way more than this. If Tom if he streamed instead of his regular stream instead of being here on the Pubcast, he'd be way more successful. He's taken a little bit of a hit to be here, and Conspiracy Pilled, our show is taking off so quickly, and the more we do for it, the more we're able to grow. And so I think what we kind of came down to with this is that with all of the hurt and the drama of it combined with like the other things we have going on that are just better uses of our time, I think it's just not worth it. We really like each other, but if Frank is just going to be finding ways to continue to hurt us through this, it's just not, for me, it's not worth it. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, for how we all feel about it, and the people at home I know feel differently, and I feel differently with a flicker of light. I'm like, oh, maybe we should still. But like I would love to like rekindle some things in like a month or two. Have a summer extravaganza show put together, something like that on this channel. But there's a lot going on for you guys. There's a lot going on for me. I'm trying to do a daily show. So the fact that we're punching holes in our schedule, and with something that will ultimately be co-opted and taken advantage of by someone else, we couldn't continue to do the show with Frank, and so we had to do the show, the 3 of us, or it wasn't going to happen. And we realized after talking through this, it was probably just better that we ended it succinctly instead of letting it fizzle, because there's no such thing as fizzling on the right.
Right.
We go out with a bang.
Yeah.
We all have some big things coming up. So that's the biggest thing you guys could do out of this is just continue to support all 3 of us and the stuff that we're working on. There's certain things me and Abby can't talk about yet that's coming up. We'll talk to you about it after the show, Tom. But there's things I can't say on stream right now. No, like for certain reasons they have to be. And it's
like people want different news shows.
It's only like a week away from things coming out is my point. So that we're working really hard on behind the scenes. But yeah, there's a lot going on. So anyway, do you guys want to get into some
let's talk about the
stories
news
and some laughs, because I don't even know where to start. We just brought up a bunch of random stuff, and that's just how we run. But we'll make it fun. We'll make it fun.
Let's just read
good stuff pulled up though.
Let's just literally read the not the bee.
Okay,
not the
guys,
bee. Start at the top. That should be like its own show. Like Abby could host a Not the Bee podcast where it's NTB, Not the Bee, and it's just her reading the articles and laughing out loud.
I'll just admit, I one of my favorite sites to go to is actually Not the Bee for a few reasons. But one is, if you want to find every craziest thing that happened in the last few weeks, it's the best place. So I pull a lot of stories from there. So I apologize for that, but I love Not the Bee. They're good. But I want to actually shine a light positively on a friend of ours that did something really fantastic this week and is hilarious. And that is our good friend Cam Harless. So if you guys have not seen this, and I didn't get a chance to pull up this other clip. I think he was on CNN this week. He's been on Tucker Carlson. The guy's been everywhere.
He's ridiculous.
But he got really good with the AI generator, and he decided to make something so funny that it is going viral right now. And what he put into the AI thing was every American president, but they're all cool and they sport a mullet. So you can see that's Joe sick. Biden. I thought it was Dog the Bounty Hunter.
No, dude, that's nice.
Dude, so he
every
tweeted,
single president combined, plus he's cool and has a mullet.
No, not combined. This one's Joe Biden. There's actually each president. So you've got Trump.
Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch. But when he tweeted this one, he said, "What? Guess my AI
That's
prompt."
Joe
And
with a mullet. Oh shit, that looks kind of cool actually. Though.
I said, I guess his AI prompt was Dog the Bounty Hunter plus the Punisher or Miami Vice or something. It was just Joe Biden cool with a mullet. You got Trump here.
Just Judge Dredd.
way better look than this, I think.
So terrible.
I love this one.
Look at Barack.
Imagine getting drone struck by that guy. Wowza.
That's what most African warlords look like.
Right.
So true.
You got George W.
Is that Bush?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Bush.
he looks good. God bless America. Good Lord.
Gosh, I gotta say Clinton though.
Jeez Louise. You know what? Can
With
we
looks
go
like
back
that,
to
he
the
wouldn't
mullet?
have to go. He wouldn't have to
I
go to
think some of
Epstein
these
Island.
guys are better looking with the mullet.
Right.
EJ. No one has to go to Epstein.
Oh yeah, that's true. We got HW, which it's still creepy.
That's really weird.
That doesn't look right. That looks right.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but I think that looks the most natural.
I don't think Carter looks that much different.
No, that's super. That's just a look. That's a choice.
What does it say?
Look at
Ford
Gerald
looks like
Ford.
that perfect kid in the yearbook who was good at everything. And then Nixon. Oh my gosh.
Lordy.
Oh.
Well, he did some acid.
Yeah. Those teeth. He's
Fear and
too
loathing
British
in
to,
DC.
he's too British to be an American president, I think. Oh man. We got some good ones. I just want to scroll through. This is the one. Frickin' Truman.
Ike.
Does he look like
That's Ike.
Is it Ike?
It's Eisenhower.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I said Truman. I meant Eisenhower.
I like Ike.
I like Ike. Looks like he would be the villain in Who Framed Roger Rabbit sequel. Like,
That's exactly what he looks like.
right? It looks like he's got the dip. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what it is.
There's some good ones here.
Wait, go back up. Because not him, but that guy. Is that Sean Penn? Not him. Up.
This
Sean
yeah,
Penn?
it does look like Sean
That's
Penn,
Sean
doesn't
Penn.
it?
That's Sean Penn
Yeah.
with his little camo and pink letters hat on.
It does look like him,
Demanding
yeah.
for more more fighter jets.
Got Coolidge here,
Damn, this is hot, dude.
Harding. So I actually bought a poster with all of these on it that Cam is selling now, and I'm not
Did you
mad.
really?
Yeah, I'll send you a link, dude. It's so good.
Nice.
Not-
Teddy's got
Wow.
2 of them.
Now he looks like it says he looks like he could wrestle a lion with his bare hands.
Hey, so right
Yeah,
here,
but bear is misspelled. It should be BAAR.
Yeah.
I think we all don't talk enough about how much Trump and Teddy are similar people.
No, they're the same
Yeah.
person, but
Yeah.
separated by a couple, 100
Yeah.
years.
100
Is that-
years,
yeah.
yeah.
100 years?
About
No one
100,
talks
almost
about it.
exactly. Yeah, when did Teddy become? He was like 1920, wasn't it?
Teddy
Ish?
Roosevelt created the third party, the Bull Moose Party, and
Yeah.
split the Republicans, which gave Woodrow Wilson, a lot like a Joe Bidenite, the win. Very
Yeah.
interesting little history hiccuping. It didn't repeat and it didn't rhyme, but it like hiccuped.
Oh yeah, I'm getting it wrong. Not 1920s, early 1900s. It was before Wilson, who was the anyway. Then we got
1914.
McKinley, Cleveland, Harrison. Jeez, Grover
guys are all
Cleveland in this
bastards.
one.
It looked like they're about to steal all the coins from Sonic.
Chester A. Arthur. Wow.
He's got
What-
no, wait.
Looks like Nick
I'm
Offerman.
related. I think I'm related to Chester A. Arthur. I'm pretty sure
There we
if
go.
you put me up on the screen, I'm pretty sure that I'm related to Chester A. Arthur.
There
I don't
we
know
go.
about you, but I think it was passed down.
I see it. I see the resemblance.
Striking.
Garfield, Hayes. Is there any other really good ones? Wow,
He's
Johnson.
a Mel
Johnson.
Gibsonite. Holy Lord.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like, this is my favorite. Lincoln looks like he could slay vampires and lay down a sick cord or two. Buchanan just looks like a
Oh, man.
steampunk, mini boss or something. He looks like he is the final boss in a steampunk novel.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, something like that.
Majestic.
Time traveling romance.
Majestic.
Oh gosh, James K. Polk. There's what the hell is this? William
That
Henry
looks
Harrison
like,
here to crush his enemies and hear the lamentations of their women.
oh my God, that's someone else. Oh, that right there. Isn't that well, maybe not.
It's
Is
Martin
that
Van Buren.
Lloyd? Christopher Lloyd?
Does look like it, doesn't it?
Marty,
Great
you gotta go
Scott!
back to the past.
Oh man, what the frick? Quincy Adams is the definition of business up front and party in the back. James Monroe, James Madison. There's no way to make him not look hideous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
He
he's
looks like
smart.
he has one of those African nesters.
He's smart, dude. He's a smart guy.
Oh my gosh, still a nerd. John Adams, and then of course Granddaddy Washington. So good job, Cam. That's the greatest use of AI art I've ever seen.
Unreal.
So
Did you guys? So go ahead.
yeah, I did. Clearly.
Chester A. Arthur.
My name's Chester A. Arthur, and I'm about to run the United States, brother. Yeah, I think that would be fair.
I
Yeah.
think Lincoln's probably the best.
I'm going to get you to read Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
I could
gonna
be
happen.
talked into that.
It's actually good. I'm not gonna lie.
Jeez Louise.
So anyway,
You guys see the Odyssey chat?
Odyssey.
Yeah.
Chat.
fortunately, Biden still looks like a kid.
There's a
Word.
photo of Joe Biden. Was he crouching down next to a little girl in a pool gymnasium natatorium area, and he's just staring at her like a piece of meat.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Can you click that? Maybe if you click it, it makes it bigger.
You know. Oops. Wrong thing.
What is that?
Back one day.
Yeah, like look at him. His eye line is like at her neck. It's not at her. He's not looking at her like a person. He's looking at her like an object. It's disgusting.
I just the Biden at all ever anything camera that should be arrestable or in most cases arrestable offenses, and then it's just like, no, he's just affectionate Joe. So I got another one here for you guys. As if every conspiracy theory hasn't come true lately, and as if we haven't seen like 19 in the world scenarios. We got another one for you guys to worry about. Unprecedented train.
Is it me?
I think it's PJ.
Oh boy.
Oh no. Unprecedented flesh-rotting drug trank is spreading to cities across the U.S., turning users into, quote, real-life zombies. I feel like there's a story like this every couple
Skin-rotting
years.
trank infiltrates big cities, zombifying the people. Yeah, it's every day. Every day they hustling.
I don't know what happened to PJ.
Me
I'm gonna
neither.
take him
Is
off
he
the
gone
screen.
forever? Gone for good?
Probably forever.
Well, it's been real and it's been fun.
Other things that have happened this week: rumors that Hannity is getting fired from Fox.
Breaking: Sean Hannity is being removed from Fox News. Breaking: Janine Piero may be removed from Fox News. Breaking: all the other people. Yeah, all the different people except for Tucker. It's like everyone but Tucker could be getting fired. We don't know.
It's fascinating. What do you think? I don't really care about Fox at all. I barely hear about it anymore.
I would be happy to hear that the people who won't admit there was fraud got fired. Hannity didn't come out and say Trump won, this is a disgrace, get fired. Laura Ingraham want to play favorites, get fired. All the other people in between get fired. Frankly, if Fox got rid of everyone, I'd almost be happier, because that would mean they'd have a chance to bring in all new people, all new production staff, all new brains, and have them make some new decisions on what should and shouldn't hit the air.
Right. I think I have less of a problem with individual things I disagree with them on, as much as the overall, like, you were the one media source for conservatives, and you kind of treated everyone like we were stupid and like you were better than us, and really I mean, they did what a lot of people who have made money on the backs of conservatives have done, is just turn on their own audience. And the only person who stuck to it for the most part was Tucker. And there are things that I don't agree with Tucker on that I think that he was squishy on, but at least he didn't like stab us in the back.
Yeah, like there were a lot of things where he had the Hunter Biden laptop in a thumb drive that was in a parcel that was being sent via FedEx or UPS. And then he said between it being sent across the country, it got nabbed. It was flagged, pulled out of service. And I worked at FedEx for a few months, so I understand how this works. It did not work this way. You have to have some kind of special something to scan it, flag it, go in, find find the box, find the parcel, find the truck that the thing was on, open the envelope and pull the thumb drive out. There's such an effort that goes into finding a single thumb drive being sent via FedEx or UPS that the fact that Tucker Carlson's show sent the Hunter Biden laptop info via UPS and FedEx, and the fact that while it being sent, it got snatched up. That to me tells me that like he got given a warning. That was like a brushback pitch. In baseball, the pitcher, if the batter's crowding the plate too much and creating too much of a strike zone, the pitcher might throw a ball real inside, and like if the batter doesn't move, it hits his nose kind of pitch. And then the batter knows, oh shit, I got to back up. It's a brush back pitch. You throw that pitch to brush them back a bit. And I think that's what that was for Tucker. It was, we're going to take your mail. We're going to open it. We're going to steal your evidence. You won't report on the truth. But Tucker at least tried. Sean, Laura, Janine, all the others, they didn't even try. And so Rupert's like, yeah, of course they should get fired. Fuck them. They're pansies. They won't stand up for anything.
Yeah. Super chat over on Rumble was a bit choppy, laggy a moment. Maybe my phone. This is from Mr. DJS. Try to watch when I can and when, but wonky Nebraska schedule. Having a Bluetooth clip-on speaker comes in handy when I'm at work. Second shifter. Man, I listen to podcasts at work all day long, so I feel you. Thank you so much for the $3 super chat. And I think that was PJ's fault for the chop and lag. We're just going to blame PJ.
Yeah, and we're going to continue to blame PJ no matter what. But I also haven't heard from him, and he hasn't responded. So, like, I don't know. Did Michigan get nuked? Have we had a nuke go off, and I just haven't been around for it? Oh, shit. PJ texted and said, internet went down. Trying to connect my backup. Well, we'll wait for a minute. And do I have a video? He's doing the controlling, isn't he?
Yep. He was doing everything. What did you want to show?
Well, I guess I don't know.
Well,
there's so many different things on my Twitter bookmarks because I was just bookmarking things that were insane.
There's been so much weird stuff. We could talk about Fetterman. We can talk about.
Did you see? Okay, well, let me ask you this: did you see the latest project to dim the sun?
What?
Yeah, we're injecting our atmosphere full of metalloids that will make it so that our sun is less bright.
That sounds something that couldn't possibly go wrong.
Yeah, the latest project to dim the sun is literally called Satan. It's SATAN, and this is the Strategic Aerosol Transport and Nucleation Program. These are balloon systems referred to as Satan balloons.
What the heck?
And the Satan balloons are launched to high altitudes. They're weather balloons, but they release hundreds of grams of sulfur dioxide straight into the atmosphere, which in the stratosphere becomes a solid that suspends in the air and refracts light. So the sunlight will like bounce off of the earth instead of coming into the earth. So we're going to cool ourselves by limiting our access to the sunlight, which is the thing that gives our planet energy and life.
Okay, not to be that guy, but source?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Where is this?
What are you talking about? What do you mean? Here, hang on. I'm going to put it in the private chat.
Thank you, Mr. DJ S, for the $3 super chat. More chemtrails. What do you know?
Yeah, no, that's what it is, dude. They've been chemtrailing you this whole time, and now they're about to hit the 5G switch, and it's all going to go and chemtrail you up. It's going to be like, oh, that was there the whole time. You just didn't know about it.
Okay, let me see if I can. How do I zoom this screen again?
If you are watching on Rumble, hit the like button and share a link to the show.
Yeah.
If you're watching on Odyssey, hit the like button and share a link to the show. The channel will become something, and the Last American Pubcast channels on Odyssey and Rumble on YouTube, they'll become something too.
They will. We have a yeah.
We have plans. We just don't know what they are yet.
Exactly. We know what we're doing. So, okay, stratospheric aerosol transport and nucleation. Satan. The technology review. Researchers launched a solar geoengineering test flight in the UK last
The
fall.
experiment, largely designed to test equipment, but took place despite deep concerns about the tech. So we want to test the tech,
heck?
but the tech is to inject the sky full of metalloids, and then we will see that that part of the sky doesn't get as much sunlight, and thus doesn't get as much heat, and doesn't get as much carbon emissions from the things that are hit by the sun. The whole thing is that the New World Order apocalypse cult, they believe that if you get hit by the sun, that's a bad thing. You can't be touched by the light because they're evil. But it's
Yep.
literally, it's verbatim this. They can't be touched by the sun. The sun gives them free energy and free light and free love. They can't get that. They have to say that, black people are ultimately worse than them because they have more melanin because they are in the sun more. If you're in the sun,
Yep.
it's a bad thing. If you're in the sun, and they're telling you wear sunscreen even if you're not out for more than 20 minutes. You should always have an SPF on you. You can't have a sun. I mean, they want in 200 years, they want you to be so afraid of the sun that you can't sustain yourself in it. They want you to live like those people on the what was the it wasn't Flowers for Algernon, but it was something like, maybe it was that. What's the play where people live on a planet where the sun comes out once every like 7 years? And so it's a Ray Bradbury short
Yeah. It's a Ray
thing
Bradbury short story.
where they live in like a pod and they get sunlight every day. They stand in the way of a light and the light beam shines on them. And then for one like 24-hour period, the sun comes out and everything flowers and everything blooms and they run out in the bloom and they see the sun and they're all enjoying it. And then the sun starts to set. And so they had to run back inside before they die. And it's like the opposite of that here on Earth. You can't be within the sun. They want you to have it as if in the future you can't see the sun. You have to be within your little computer program. Maybe this doesn't make sense to people, but I think that's what they're doing.
You guys, this is why I'm not concerned about what's going to happen in the future because Tom loves his conspiracy theories.
Insane.
And so do we. And I think that there's plenty of space for political collaboration on Tom's channel and conspiracy collaboration on ours and anything else we can think of to do. I'm just not worried. We're always going to sit and stream and drink together. It doesn't have to be called The Last American Pubcast. Tom. What happened? Oh.
I will add this. Can we play something or no? Do we have access to putting things on the screen?
Yeah, I can put stuff up if you send it to
All
me.
right. I'm going to copy a link and then send it to the private thing because this is something that we can all watch and listen to and cry about while we wait for Mr. PJ. So listen, you guys all know Baz Luhrmann at home. If you're a 90s adult, then you know who Baz Luhrmann is. Baz is
not what I want.
Baz Luhrmann is a filmographer, a director, a producer, an Australian film director and screenwriter. And he got this really nice monologue written and then recorded. And I think it's nice. So I don't know if that's it or not. That doesn't seem like it. That is the song, but I don't know if I just sent you the link to the YouTube.
Oh, that's okay.
How about I do this? Hang on. Send you the link to the YouTube there.
Guys,
That's in there.
PJ does. I'm such a boomer with tech. I am the worst.
Just click that next one. That one should work.
Okay. All right. Hang on. We're trying. No. That's not. Stop it.
Do you have an Internet Explorer? Could you
I'm
find the
getting
song?
here. I'm getting here, you guys. Okay.
It's called Everybody's Free to Wear Sunscreen. There you go. Thank you.
Let's see if I got the audio right.
Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 97.
Just full screen that be.
Wear sunscreen.
Such a good advice.
If I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it.
Get the Kleenex
The
ready.
long-term benefits of sunscreen.
A lot of
have been
crying to
proved
be
by
had.
Scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. I will dispense this advice now. Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth. Oh, never mind. You will not understand the power and beauty of your youth until they've faded. But trust me, in 20 years, you'll look back at photos of yourself and recall in a way you can't grasp now how much possibility lay before you and how fabulous you really looked. You are not as fat as you imagine. Don't worry about the future, or worry, but know that worrying is as effective as trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing bubblegum. The real troubles in your life are apt to be things that never crossed your worried mind, the kind that blindsides you at 4 p.m. on some idle Tuesday. Do one thing every day that scares you. Sing. Don't be reckless with other people's hearts. Don't put up with people who are reckless with yours. Floss. Don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long, and in the end, it's only with yourself. Remember compliments you receive. Forget the insults. If you succeed in doing this, tell me how. Keep your old love letters. Throw away your old bank statements. Stretch. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I know didn't know at 22 what they wanted to do with their lives. Some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't. Get plenty of calcium. Be kind to your knees. You'll miss them when they're gone. Maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have children, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll divorce at 40. Maybe you'll dance the funky chicken on your 75th wedding anniversary. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much, or berate yourself either. Your choices are half chance. So are everybody else's. Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it, or what other people think of it. It's the greatest instrument you'll ever own. Dance. Even if you have nowhere to do it but in your own living room. Read the directions, even if you don't follow them. Do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly.
Brother and sister, together we'll make it through. Someday our spirit will take you and guide you there. I know you've been hurting, but I've been waiting to be there for you. And I'll be there just helping you out whenever I can.
Get to know your parents. You never know when they'll be gone for good. Be nice to your siblings. They're your best link to your past and the people most likely to stick with you in the future. Understand that friends come and go, but with a precious few, you should hold on. Work hard to bridge the gaps in geography and lifestyle, because the older you get, the more you need the people you knew when you were young. Live in New York City once, but leave before it makes you hard. Live in Northern California once, but leave before it makes you soft. Travel. Accept certain inalienable truths. Prices will rise, politicians will philander, you too will get old. And when you do, you'll fantasize that when you were young, prices were reasonable, politicians were noble, and children respected their elders.
So true.
Respect your elders. Don't expect anyone else to support you. Maybe you have a trust fund. Maybe you'll have a wealthy spouse. But you never know when either one might run out. Don't mess too much with your hair, or by the time you're 40, it will look 85. Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. But trust me on the sunscreen.
The point of that, Abby, is that people will give you all kinds of advice, and people are going to give you the graduating class of 1998. Here's the advice I'd give you. And that's what he says. It's all the life advice that anyone could ever need to hear, but it won't be appreciated until you can already appreciate it. It's advice that you know after you know it, but you can't appreciate it until you hear it. So it's the advice of the one that kills me, the one that like gets me in my heart and soul. And I think it's like God telling me like, this is the part that's important for you, is the part that says, cherish your siblings because they are the only thing that you have anchoring you to the past that will also be in your future.
Yeah.
And that's such a, that's like a primordial, like a caveman feeling in me, in my brain, is to be like, make sure that you have your, ooga booga, make sure you have your, like, your family relationships intact, that like, if I needed to, I can call on my family. If I needed to, I can call my sister or brother. My wife's grandmother just passed. And so my sister's reaching out to
Yeah.
say like, hey, can we take in the dog? And like those little things that you don't expect to need to think about, you don't have to worry about when you have family who loves and who cares and who adores, but you have to generate that. And that's not easy. And that's the thing that I take away from it, is like your siblings mean more to you now than you
Yeah.
thought they did before, and then they will in the future, but they should, you should cherish them while you have them.
I remember fighting with my sister so much when we were younger, and as soon as we became adults, we were like, "Holy crap, no one will ever be able to understand our life the way that we can." So this is somebody I'm never going to walk away from. We have a couple super chats over on Rumble. Mr. DJS again, thank you for another $3. No traitors or assholes when the movement is so critical, like McCarthy being swamp scum and not actually releasing videos, and metalloids settle in soil. Worse fires, less crops. Facts. Craxton Jackson, $5. First American Patriot cast. I love it.
Yeah, I like that. The American Patriot cast.
I like that too.
Good to think
And
about that.
Waffle, another $100 super
Waffle
chat.
Salter,
That's
God bless, dude.
insane. Don't you
What
have
is
something
happening?
better to do with your money, sir?
I mean, God bless you, and we're not mad at you. We
We're
love
not
you.
mad.
But I
But
also
we
don't
would
want you
love
to think that
you.
we love you because of that. I love you
Yeah.
even if you spend no money.
Yeah.
I was worried about you last week just because I didn't see your name.
Yeah.
Abby, you missed this, but on the streams last week, I was asking for every float show. I was like, I haven't seen Waffle Salter. It's been 2 days. I haven't seen Waffle Salter. It's been 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. And then eventually I get word back. I pulled up Waffle Salter's email and went to the inbox and emailed him and said, "Are you alive?" And it turns out he was just on a vacation in Jamaica. The guy's
I
fine.
hope you had such a good vacation, man.
The guy's fine. I had
You
a well
sound
check.
horrible,
Hey,
PJ.
PJ, your mic is picked up through your camera.
Fixing it. 1 second.
Come on, PJ.
No, your mic is set up. It's just not picking up through the live studio. Now it is.
There it should be now.
Yeah, it sounds
There
so
we go.
much butterier.
PJ,
Butterier,
somebody,
yeah.
I think it was Blankets over on Odyssey, asked how your birthday was.
Yeah, dude, you've been
what'd
gone
you
for like
do?
a half an hour. Fill the people in on what you've been doing.
It was a good birthday. Thank you guys. Yeah,
I'm gonna go hit the head real quick. I'll be right back.
Bye.
I turned 32 yesterday, which is basically 64 in truck driver years, if anybody's ever worked that job. So you know what I'm talking about. No, my internet has been
Wait, how
crashing.
do I disappear from the screen?
I'll take you.
Bye.
I got it. There we go. So my internet has been having problems for the last month. So I had to go and buy this whole other like wireless internet setup. So that way, if this happened, my internet would work. Well, apparently this went down and then I couldn't get my other internet to work. So I had to restart my computer and close all my screens. And then I realized that it wouldn't work because, like, even though it said it was connected, because my other one's wired in, it just wanted to pick up the one that wasn't working no matter what I did. So I just unplugged it. Finally back. So I don't know. I've never had that happen before. I've always been able to like go from one to the other if it slows down. So now I just whatever.
It's okay. We missed you. And we're
I'm
glad you're
back. I was watching on my phone though, so I got to hear that song or whatever. How's everybody doing? I also don't have Odyssey and Rumble pulled up right now because I'm not sure if like with this backup internet if it'll work. So maybe I'd try it now.
I'll just read you what it says. Abby is the best ever.
All right, so this is why I got to pull it up. Okay, I got it. I'm pulling it up now. How's everybody doing though? What did I miss?
No, I mean you just said you watched it. Nothing much.
No, I watched part of it after I couldn't get it to
PJ,
work.
are you gonna tell them what you really did on your birthday, or do I have to?
Are you gonna do me dirty like that?
I don't know. Should I?
Abby's got dirt on PJ.
I have dirt on PJ.
Okay, I've been
guys.
teaching my kids how to rollerblade, but I didn't have a pair, so my wife bought me a pair of rollerblades for my birthday. So I've been, rollerblading with the whole boombox on my shoulder, short shorts, the whole thing. I just been going full 80s workout with the kids around the neighborhood. It's been fun.
Oh my god, I'm so glad we talked about that.
Thank you. Yeah. I had to out myself as a.
Yeah, gotta stay in control of that story there. I was just gonna tell them you rollerbladed. I wasn't gonna go into all that detail. Kitty cat.
Like
Hello,
Malcolm
kitty.
in the middle. No, it's been fun. I don't know. Teaching my kids to skate.
Aw,
Can you hear that?
No.
no.
Damn, he's purring real loud. Purr into the mic. He's not
Happy
happy.
Friday, Kenneth. Based. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Roller blading is based. Or is roller skating more based? Is the quads more based or the inlines? That's what I want to know. That's the
Roller
question
gang?
for chat. I knew you were gonna. Abby's trying to make me feel gay in front of the whole audience. So.
Roller gaying? What are you
Hey, you
doing?
did that.
Roller gaying?
Oh, by yourself.
You did that when you strapped up, dude. You got gay when you strapped up.
What'd you wait? Hold on, Tom. I missed what you just said.
I just said you got gay when you.
gay.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
You bastard.
Speaking of being gay,
Welcome back to the stream, everybody. I'm glad that you're joining me today. And
So we got
Speaking
a.
of-
Nope. I'm talking over you. Blades is based. Quads equals nerd. I got blades. So.
speaking
what
of
about one
being
single
gay,
solitary wheel? One mono wheel. What about that?
Do you want
Is
to
that
know? Do you want to know the truth?
pretty sweet.
I asked my wife for a unicycle for my birthday. That's not a joke.
Did you really? Did she?
I'm
she
good
was
at
like,
it.
No,
I'm good at
rollerblades.
riding a uni. Yeah, she said it's too embarrassing. She said I will not let you ride around our neighborhood on a unicycle. I'm like, but I know how, and it's fun. So
Have you seen the one wheel? Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that?
You talking about the wheelies, the heelys? I mean,
No,
or just
Hang
like a one wheel skate?
no, you. Hang on. I'm saying a one wheel, and I'm not mincing words. It's a product called a one wheel. It's a skateboard, and in the middle,
don't you have
there's
one
a
of these?
single wheel, and it's housed with 4 little gyroscopes. And so on each pad of the foot pads, 1, 2, 3, and 4, it detects where your weight is, and it balances and hovers and moves in the way that you're leaning.
Yeah.
So-
Don't you and your wife have these?
My wife and I each have one because
Yeah.
a couple of years ago in a different job, I was thinking I was hot shit. So I got myself one and I got her one because I was like, well, I don't want to just get me one.
Abby, I'm
So-
gonna let you finish, but a
She and-
big wheel. We need big wheels back. Miss those.
I'm gonna finish in a bit, but we have a hyper chat over on Odyssey from Blankets, and this is like the 5th time he's asked this question, so we should probably answer it.
Oh, okay.
All the Precious Kitty, Tom, Abby, and PJ, what were the alt tech platforms that disappointed you?
Mine's
I will say every Twitter alternative that tried to launch
Getter.
from
Parler.
Parler, Getter, Truth, I would get on, I would be excited about the prospect, especially when my Twitter account went down. And then I just found that there was nothing going on. No one was saying anything interesting. It was just an echo chamber. And I for me, the fun of Twitter is owning the libs. Like that's the whole fun of it, to be in the mix. I'm not there to talk to people that I agree with. Like it's nice to have people like my tweets and agree with me, but like I'm there to troll people and to get people to think about things that they haven't thought before. And so for me, all of those platforms were just boring as heck.
I was most disappointed by Parler for the fact that for a moment there, it
They
was
sold your info to the FBI, dude.
Oh yeah. Well, besides, I mean, they already got my info. I co-host with Abby, so they've got my info. But no.
Yeah, but like Parler was like literally an FBI setup. Like Parler was, they asked, can we have your data before you even get started? And Parler was like, sure. So like Parler was like a honeypot.
Right. And I guess the reason that Parler was so disappointing to me is because at this time, Twitter was ramping up censorship. And all of a sudden, Parler was the #1 app in the Google Play Store and in the iTunes Place, whatever the hell that's called. And at that time, I was like, oh, finally, someone is going to legitimately compete with Twitter. And then, everybody shut them down. And then we found out the FBI was stealing our data. So like that was, to me, the most disappointing.
Do you guys remember when it was like a Snowden revelation that the NSA was collecting data in the way that they were?
Yeah.
And they were like, turns out they're listening to your phone calls. And people were like, really? And I was thinking the whole time, like, that's what we've all been hypothesizing this. Like,
right.
If you can imagine the most sinister thing, they also did, and they're doing it. And so like the fact that came out, now you look 10 years later and Snowden's like, don't believe this article, don't listen to this. And then you look at it and it's astonishing to me that we're even here, because why didn't smarter people figure this out before? How did it get to here?
See, what's funny? I'm glad you brought this up, because doing a conspiracy show is really interesting sometimes, because we'll talk about some things that people are like, it's like 2010, like 2 years before Snowden, where everybody knew, everybody really did know by that point, that they were stealing our data. But like sometimes we'll do conspiracies like that where people kind of know and then people agree with you. And then we'll do conspiracies where I feel like I'm in 1994 talking about, the government stealing our data, and people look at you like you're crazy. And I'm like, no, I still think I'm right. But it's like, it's so much easier to do the ones that are like about to be revealed than it is to do the ones that are like, I'm still get convinced on this thing, but it's 10 or 20 years before people are going to be like, oh, wow, those crazy people were right 20 years ago.
Well, it's like
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the moon landing. Like right now, I could listen to a guy give me his whole thesis on how we went, why we went, all the things we got, the proof that we went, all those things from NASA. And then I can also hear another guy tell me about how we never went and it was all a lie, and here's all the proof of the fakery. And I can sit here right now, not having heard either, and go, I can see myself believing both. So that's a problem for the future, when today we sit and we go, something could be factually accurate or inaccurate, and we won't know what is true or false because of the powers that be creating lies and deception.
You know what cracks me up? This is not to your point at all.
Chicken cross the road joke.
I love those. But
another
thing that cracks me up is how the government keeps talking about banning TikTok every couple months. Yeah. And I am convinced that the only reason they want to ban TikTok is they're tired of China getting for free the information they're accustomed to selling. They have to work.
They're supposed to pay for it.
I actually have a different theory on this. So I find this hilarious that people get so up in arms about TikTok. And I'm like, look, I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's good that they are stealing our data. What I am saying is you're wrong. What?
You're about to say something dumb.
I am?
Go ahead. No, I'm just no. I'm just teasing. No, I'm just kidding. He's like, I'm not saying TikTok is bad.
I don't think
and I'm like, yeah. Like that's not the worst thing you could ever say. TikTok is terrible. Don't say it.
Oh, no, it is terrible. What I'm saying is I feel like people are so obsessed with TikTok being bad that they're like, but it's cool that Instagram steals my data. It's cool that Facebook does. It's cool that Google does. And for me, I'm more worried about the United States government using my data than the Chinese government. I'm not saying it's good. Like, I think we should ban TikTok, to be completely honest. But it's funny that the left is now, and I heard someone on CNN making this case today. Well, they're taking our data and it's a free speech issue. And I'm like, they're also censoring people, and so's Twitter, and so's Instagram, and that's a free speech issue you won't make. So it's hilarious to me to see the left and the right now agreeing on TikTok and you framing it as a free speech thing. I don't know. It's really weird.
It is weird. Like, I'm sorry, China is not protected by the First Amendment.
Right.
Like, that applies to the United States, the citizens of the United States.
Well, and how about this? Our names have been changed to generic male name. That's some horse shit.
That is some censorship if I've ever
'Cause
seen
my
it
name's
coming from
not
our
GMM.
FBI.
When I cut
been that
my
way for like an hour.
I know, but I'm just now noticing when I cut my feed, I see generic male name, and I'm not happy about that. That's not my name. My dog's gonna freak out. That's not my name.
Yeah, so we have a super chat over on Rumble.
And I
from
can't change it either, so that's
It's not generic anymore.
Hamas.
for me.
How do you
I can't
how do you
change mine.
pronounce your name? Hamas? I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that badly. Thank you so much for the $30 super chat. Wherever y'all
PA
are, I'll be
Mace.
there to listen. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, God bless you, PA Mace.
PA Mace. Is that what I'm supposed to say?
Hamash.
Sorry, everybody. If only
There
I
we
knew
go.
how
Now
to
it's not
read.
generic.
Saltzilla says now you'll be assigned a number. Axel
Oh,
Tyrone. Axel spelled wrong, dude. It's
Nope.
EL.
I know, but it's not generic this way.
Now I'm
it's cooler.
actually. God damn.
Oh no, we gotta fix that.
Oh yeah, don't have that just in case people actually think that's.
All right. Well,
There
that
are
was so
Disney
fun.
shows that say Tom is too much to deal with. What?
Mm,
Really?
yeah.
Who said
We're
that?
all a lot. We all are too much for people in our lives. Let's not even lie about it. Jackson Jackson, $1 Discovery card tracking gun purchases with new ISO code. Yes, exactly. Why are we worried about TikTok when American companies are tracking much more invasive things that are immediately an issue? Like, I'm not saying we shouldn't worry about TikTok, but like, where did Tom go?
Where did Tom go this time? What is going on with this stream?
This is just
Oh, he's back. Axel's
Axel.
back. Axel,
I
we
was
missed
trying to
you.
reset it so I could rechange my name. It didn't give me the option. Fuck. I just re-logged in to see if it would give me the option to change my name. It didn't let me. I'm trying to be
Oh,
Tom.
dang.
from
Look, it
House.
worked
There
that
you go.
time.
There
Yeah.
we go.
That's me. That's me again. Now I feel like myself. Whew.
Oh, I'm sorry, but Frank is not smart enough to hack.
Yeah. Frank didn't figure out his email,
China.
let alone try to.
No.
Here's the thing: if Frank was actually the person he presented himself to be,
We'd love him.
we would love him. The mispronunciations.
That's why I did
of
love him when I
words-
thought he was that person.
Yes, the slightly bumbling and being silly. It made us trust him more. Honestly, I think the projection of incompetence. I don't even. It was so funny when all of the big con stuff was coming down, and Steven Crowder was coming for the Daily Wire and all of this stuff, and we were like, yeah, we know all about that. We know all about small but like little betrayals in the conservative media space, because I honestly think that what happens is that people make all kinds of little bad decisions to become famous. I think people sacrifice their souls little by little
Yeah.
to get
They
to
make
the level.
concessions they don't
Yeah.
think are important at the moment, and then later
Yep.
they realize that was their crutch. That is their
Yeah.
Achilles heel. The thing that they compromised on is the thing that takes them out.
Once you start compromising, it doesn't end. And like
It's gonna be
that's the-
Steven Crowder having blown some dude for a job, and then realizing later, like, oh, he can't be bi, and also I don't know what that is. I don't know if that is what it is. I can't lie and say that I do
All
know
right,
that.
let's just do it. Let's just do it. Okay,
Oh,
so
gosh.
I am not allowed to say certain things.
maybe you should.
Steven Crowder is totally straight, and no one has any problem with him being
No.
gay if he were.
It's okay. I'm gonna be careful.
He's
but
not
I'm
gay
Okay.
unless we know that he is. So no one's saying that he's gay. A little.
I'm gonna say what I can say,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say, all right.
Okay.
My cousin is married to Sven Computer, who was a former producer on Crowder.
And let's pause and let everyone
I
understand
was
at
a
home
big fan of Sven, by
that-
the way.
that Sven Computer, if you recall, 2018, 2019, Sven Computer, fun character actor on
Yeah.
the show, lots of stream appearances. Someone who you were like, oh, let's ask Sven Computer. And it would ask Sven Computer.
Yes.
I'm trying to give you
Who-
some
who-
credibility there.
who suddenly disappeared from the show. A lot of people asked questions. Of course, I don't know the answer. Of course, I don't know
Crowder
the answer.
straight change his mind.
It's your job, Tom, not mine.
Dude, I'm straight as an arrow, and I could change his mind.
All right, you guys.
Hold on. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna pull Kanye one more time. Waffle Salter says,
Well,
"Gotta give
yeah,
Frank
God-
credit
God
for one
bless
thing.
him.
He brought us to you. Yes, you guys are amazing. I don't regret anything. I
And I
seriously
wouldn't have
don't.
met
we
either
don't.
of you without Frank. So,
Right.
you know, the
Exactly.
devil's in the details, I
Exactly.
suppose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I'm not mad. I think the Pubcast, Frank has a net good in all of our lives.
Yeah.
Yep. And sometimes it's just the truth. I think a lot of times in conservative media spaces and in Christian spaces and things like this, we think it's better if we don't tell the truth because it'll harm people. I think ultimately, even when truths are really hard, it's better when they are in the light. And yeah, so obviously Sven would never break his NDA and tell me anything. Obviously, no one, including maybe some people Sven knows as friends who were also on Crowder, none of them would have ever broken their NDAs and told me anything. Obviously. But there are some things that are fairly obvious and will be very public very soon. And it's just a matter of the truth not trickling out to the appropriate media sources yet. And one thing that is true, 100%, is that Crowder and Hillary are in the middle of a very messy divorce.
And it's really sad. And
It is
no one's
sad.
relishing that either. I mean, they have twins, newborn twins in the last
it's
2
awful.
years. They're a young family. It's a conservative family, and it's a sad thing. Anytime anyone goes through a divorce, it's sad. I don't wish that on anyone. I don't wish it on Joe Biden. I don't want a divorce for anyone. It's the saddest thing in the world.
Yeah. It's a terrible situation for everyone involved. To me, it sheds a lot of light on Steven's behavior in the last couple months.
Yeah, it explains a lot of why people have thought, like, is he all right? It's like, no, of course not. He's not all right.
No.
His
He's
heart's
not.
been ripped out. His heart's ripped out.
Yeah. And it's not, yeah, it's very, very messy. I think that for everyone involved, it needs to end, but the process of it ending is pretty awful. So, yeah, that's not.
So is Crowder, and no one knows, but is he's still going to do his show, or no?
He
Like, what's his
posted
show
something-
on right now?
He posted something a couple hours ago. A photo. I can bring it up. This is
And,
why
like,
I'm
like, what are all the people doing? Like, the people that work on that show, they have jobs that are considerable full time.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
the show. It's a
hang
big
on.
show.
Like,
It's
they have
the-
a full time show. They take a couple months off at a time, and then he's going to come back and announce he's divorced and not going on with the show. Like, that doesn't work.
This is honestly why I brought this up tonight, because it really rubs me wrong knowing what I know about what's going on, and to see him posting this. Are you ready? Like, just getting people hyped for his new thing. Like, dude, you should really just step back from the spotlight and deal with your home issues. Like,
Do you think,
have
like-
enough money? He has enough money. He doesn't need to do a single more thing in his life.
Do you think that that's part of, and it's just a question, do you think that's part of why he's been setting up people like Dave Landau to fill in so much? Like, do you think that there's a possibility of the step away for a month, 2 months, 3 months or something like that, and having a Dave Landau show, having something like that? Because it does seem like, and he's talked about this quite a bit, like, at some point, I don't want to be the only one doing this. I want to hand it off to someone. So, I mean, we've
Yeah,
seen,
What
you know, with his
what he meant
surgery
by
and
that
stuff like
is
that.
he wants to create the vehicle and have someone else drive it. He doesn't want to be the guy in the driver's seat the whole time. He wants
Right,
to create
yeah.
a car that can drive around and do the laps every morning. Go do your 4 laps, and he can have a different driver in the seat on Fridays, and he can start to do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then someone else can do a Thursday, Friday, Saturday show. He wanted, and he said this, he wanted to kind of phase himself out and create that little bit of a network feel, but they didn't have who was it? And I, forgive me because I don't remember, but who was it that was his first, like, third chair? and I
Jared?
forget who it was.
Jared Monroe.
No, not Jared though. It was after Jared left.
Oh.
It was not quarter black Garrett, but it was the first like second
Oh.
chair he
Owen
had.
Benjamin. Owen Benjamin.
Owen Benjamin.
There it is. Oh my God. That's why I couldn't remember it, because that and
He's
and
gone
Owen
off the
Benjamin has
rails
put
too, by the way.
but that's why, because you have two dudes who are so close. You're so close to it. You're so close to figuring it all out, and they can't work together because they're like, I can't explain it, what I'm
I know
thinking.
what you're trying to say, but yeah.
Owen Benjamin and Crowder cannot be in the same room together, and both have leadership skills. So Crowder, I think, would have been better off stepping back and letting Owen like own things, but instead he didn't, and they both have been screwed since then. Honestly, that's how I see that. Thank you for remembering who it was, because for the life of me, I was like, I know that it was one
Owen
person
Benjamin
in
was the
particular
first,
that everyone loved.
Big third chair. Then he tried to fill it in with the Hodge twins for a while, and they were back and forth. And
that's it.
Then it was Dave Landau. But yeah, it was Owen Benjamin for a long time. I actually went and saw
There was a Louisiana guy with long hair for a while too, who was like a skater guy.
Oh shoot, yeah. Well, I saw
Like
a lot with
hippie
Crowder
guy for a while. Looked like Animal from the Muppets.
I saw a lot with Crowder live down at U of M when it was Owen Benjamin was the third chair. So I got to see Owen Benjamin do stand up and stuff like that.
Really?
I want to say
That was
this
He's a
about
huge
Owen.
pianist. Did you know that? He's a huge
He does
pianist.
have a huge pianist, yeah. That was before he lost his
I said
mind.
he was a huge pianist.
I know. That was the name of his album, wasn't it? Huge Pianist?
Yeah.
I want to say
hilarious,
this
too.
about Owen. I know that a lot of people completely dismiss everything he says, saying he's gone off the rails. But the thing about Owen is that he was never required to sign an NDA the way that Sven and Jared and other people who have definitely not told me anything have. Okay.
Is my mic broken? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah. Yep.
So if you hear Owen saying something about Sven
Crowder. Oh, it's true.
or Crowder, it is my personal opinion that is probably true. It is
When
my
I say he's
personal
off the
opinion.
rails, I don't mean that he's a liar. I just think he's
Right.
lost his mind in other ways. Yeah.
In other ways, exactly. So I think that there's a lot of the situation with Crowder right now is that there are people who know what's true, and either they cannot talk about it, or there are people like Owen who are not taken seriously about anything that they say. And it is also my personal opinion that Stephen is definitely bi. That's based on absolutely nothing that I would know about anything.
Anyway, that got awkward.
Anyway,
So John's sorry. Yeah, here's the thing. Like, Crowder's still correct to circumvent all the leftist social media platforms. I don't think anyone here is saying Crowder's incorrect on a variety of on most things. In all honesty, I think if you actually just said what Crowder's views are that he espouses, I bet all three of us would agree with most of it.
yeah. I think that Crowder believes about 80% of what he says, and that on the whole, he has done a lot of good for the conservative community. But I do think that, like we said before, when people get to that level, they have often sold many, many pieces of their souls to get there. And I think that we will find that the majority of the people at the top of conservative media are pretty soulless, unfortunately.
Can I say one more thing? And I'm not trying to keep bringing it back to the same point, but
No. Shut up.
I've heard certain attacks on us about how, we quabbled over $70 or something stupid like that. And it's like,
Who said that?
again, it doesn't matter. My
I'd
point
like
is,
to know, but I'm just curious because
tell
the
you off
70
air.
70 is
It was not.
70,000 is 700.
that's
Okay,
the
let's
point I was
put it
trying to
this
make.
way.
Steal is the steal. I could steal a hair or
Thank you.
your
That-
whole head of hair. I could steal a whole wig. But the point is you're a thief.
That's the point, though, is like when we're talking about, compromising here and there, I'm like, it's not about the dollar value, it's about the lie. And I think that's why,
Right.
I think that actually makes our case more for us. If we were really squabbling over like $7 or $70 or whatever it is, it's like, does that
I give
really
that much away to my friends. I wouldn't care about that.
Right.
That if it was like oh dude, I'm sorry I missed this. This was like $70 that you were shorted. I'd be like, oh, I don't care. Let's just make it right. But when someone goes, hey, I'm shorting you $150 and then 70 and then 80, you're like, okay, well, hang on a second here. That's not right.
Right, but that's my point in all of this is like that's the point. Is the point that you can't make compromises when you're small, when things
Right.
are small and easy, because they will continue to snowball effect into something bigger. So if you're working with someone who's like, I don't mind cheating you out of a little, then how can you trust them not cheat you out of a lot? And that's the whole point. So like your morals actually, like, this is the thing I think everyone can take away is that your morals matter at your day job. They matter in your personal integrity. They matter when nobody's watching. And if you can't shore up your morals then and there, you can't handle being a Steven Crowder. You know what I mean? You can't handle having millions of people that rely on you to be trustworthy. And I'm not saying anything about Steven Crowder in this. I know things I shouldn't know, but like, whatever.
No,
My point is,
no,
I don't. I don't know anything. I've never been told anything at all.
No.
My point is, you have like it starts small, and I think that's something we can all take away. Is like that's why integrity is so important.
Yeah,
because
and I'll echo this one at the bottom right here. Waffle Salter says $70 is a lot of money to a lot of people, and it is. Like,
yeah,
if someone sent you $10, you'd be like, "Geez, thanks." If 7 people sent you $10, you'd be like, "Oh my God, what did I do?"
Right.
So if 7 people stole $10 from you, you'd be pissed. And if one person steals $70 from you, you should be as equally pissed. And the whole thing about this is like, this isn't money that you had in your wallet. It's money that someone had sent to the group saying, "Hey, this is for all of you, that we appreciate you. We like your work.
It's
like what you're doing.
disrespectful to the audience.
We want to respect the show, and here's a donation to it." And instead of, and for I'll tell you both, and you guys know this because we talked about this, but for the people at home watching, everyone knows if you're a part of a show, you assume you're either cut in on whatever they're earning or you're not at all, and you're just a guest. But that's it.
Right.
That's all there is to it. You're either invited in or you're a part of it earning. You're not just like sitting in, hanging out. And Frank wanted to make it as if we were sitting in, hanging out, creating the content and earning a little piece off the top for what Frank wanted to be his business, which was having us create content for his channels. And that's what it was. So not to bring this all back to that, but there has to be an overarching theme here. And to put a finer point to it, this would have looked the same exact way for years and years to come, but you wouldn't have known that we were all getting gypsied and Jewed out of what you had sent.
Well, it's the thing. I think it's disrespectful. I think that's why we had the agreement of 25s, because if it's super chats, then everybody's watching isn't going, "Oh, this person deserves this person deserves that." It's, "Hey, I like all of you. I want to support all of you. You guys all have families, you have lives, and this helps."
No, and Waffle Salter, I want to make sure that you know too, because you're sending super chats now, and you said whatever he stole, it was worth learning who you are, who your friends are.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that people also hear this, because I don't want to give Frank the bad reputation of thinking that he didn't try to make it right. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure that everyone hears we totaled up, because when you catch someone lying, you call them on the carpet and you tell them and you say, "Hey, I got this proof and this proof and this proof." And you say, "Here's the total. Here's what I can count. Here's what I can count for these months." So we did this. And Frank came back and said, "Okay, I owe," and I'll ballpark the numbers, but it was like, "Abby, I owe you 450. Tom, I owe you 450. PJ, I owe you 600. And now are we all good?" And then he sent that money to us and then never spoke to us again. And that's a guy who was our friend every week, hanging out, being a good guy, texting, calling, having a good conversation. And then the moment that you find out he was stealing, and it was about to be thousands of dollars he was stealing, then he says, "Oh, I'll be professional, I'll be exact, and then I'll just dip out." And that's what happened. So
Never said anything
Waffle Salter
again.
says, whatever he stole, it's worth learning who your friends are. It is
Yes.
worth learning who your friends are, but
Yes.
we wish that we didn't have to go through all that, because it was emotional for Abby and PJ and myself. We didn't want to have to lose Frank as a friend. That sucks.
Yeah. It
He
was.
He didn't speak to us again except to drag me on Twitter, like except to days on end.
Dude hasn't said anything nice to me at all, and has instead like subtweeted me in his gym. Like he's taking photos of himself in the gym saying like why stay afloat when you can, you know, stay above the like all like it's so fucking gay. And I wanna but I won't say anything about it. But it's like, okay, dude. And this just it bothers me. It bothers me because I wish that we had people who had integrity on our side. And I thought for sure like Frank was like the one like simple homegrown guy. He's not thinking of it too big. He's just keeping his whole thing right here. Sure enough, he's fucking people over within that. And that just blew my mind.
This is why I appreciate both of you so much, because we've seen a huge shake up in the conservative stuff. And it's not the first time in my life that I've seen this. And like, that's what bothers me is like, for me, originally it started in the Christian music industry of all places, getting screwed over by people, being stolen from, that stuff. And I'm sorry, Tom, we really appreciate you, man.
No, I'm
but my point is like, me and Abby have talked about this just on like a spiritual level. Like I think that as rough as 2023 has been, if you look at, you know, everybody, Tim Pool, Crowder, Daily Wire, whoever, I feel like things are being shaken up because hopefully by the end of all this, we'll find, you know, like, how am I trying to say this? I think that the real people will be left standing. I think that This is why integrity matters. And I hope that leads to a better future for people who are in this fight with us. Everybody watching this, you guys are going above and beyond most people who just turn a blind eye to every terrible thing that's happening in the world. And you guys care, and you guys want to support people who are out there standing for your beliefs, who are fighting on your behalf. And you deserve better leaders. And I think that's the thing that we're all realizing. And I hope that we can get them. And it sucks to see, you know, the things that you love fall apart, but sometimes it's like one of those terrible necessary changes. Yeah. And I'll tell you this too, there's some really great people who have been affected in some really bad ways. And I want to see them rise above this. And I think that God's going to use a lot of really good people who put in some really bad situations to do some really great things. So I don't want you to feel blackpilled about any of this. I think that it sucks, but change sucks. And I think that good things can be on the other side. So don't give up. That's my point to people. I know a lot of people right now who are feeling hopeless, looking at just a million different things, whether it's them pushing this war with China, whether it's, you know, the freaking insane catastrophe in Ohio, or on personal levels. I would just say that me and Tom talked about this last week, but if you don't have Christ as the center of your life and as the center of your thinking, then the world is bleak and hopeless. But it's not that way. It's not that way. And it's not even just that you know where you're going when you're gone. I think that Christ has us. He's going to take care of us in a lot of ways. And you're going to see a lot of good things come out of a lot of bad situations if you let it.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that God cares that a lot of good people have looked up to a lot of fake people as their heroes and their leaders. And I think that there's like two things we can take out of this. One, that God cares about that, and he's going to shake things up. If he sees faithful people following bad people, he's going to shake that up because he knows, right? He knows the faithful people don't want to be following bad people. So of course he's going to expose it, and that's going to be painful. But the other thing is that we shouldn't be blindly following people. We shouldn't be doing everything we possibly can to make excuses for people. Like I alluded to earlier, I had an instinct for a long time that there was something wrong in the Pubcast. I misnamed it. I got it wrong. I didn't look at the thing I was supposed to look at. We all should have realized way sooner what was happening. But we always want to make excuses for famous people. Like it was just Frank had 200,000 subs and he led a prayer meeting. Of course we were going to make excuses for things. Of course we were just going to think he was this bumbling guy who
assume it's all on the up and up, because why wouldn't it be? Because how could a guy run a channel like that without being on the up and up? Of course you're going to assume that the guy who runs the prayer stream, who has all the donations coming in from the Bible thumpers, you'd think that guy would be the guy who would be honest. And
it's
moreover, as a
awful.
Catholic, you'd think that guy would be someone you could trust. And as a Catholic, I'm super pissed that I ever went on a Friday morning at 9 o'clock and was like, oh, I wonder what Frank's talking about. Cause fucking A, who would have known?
It's really awful. And I think that more so than the leftists, God is going to be angry at the people who took advantage of the faithful, who stood up for the things that we're too afraid to stand up for, who we trusted. But I think that the lesson just comes down to you have to stand up for your own stuff. You can't put all your faith into people like Crowder. You can't put all your faith into people like the Daily. It doesn't work that way. And the more famous they are, the more you should be verifying. The more you should have skepticism as opposed to the other way around of making excuses for them.
Yeah,
you
have to stand up for what you love it and believe in. And that's it. And you can't try to stand up for anyone else because frankly, you can't trust much else. That's so sad.
Abby's been making a great point this week too that I think really comes back to what we're talking about, which is like there is value in supporting people who can do things who can fight on your behalf. There's a value in buying a Jeremy's chocolate bar over a Hershey's chocolate bar. You know what I mean? There's value in supporting streamers who are going to have a big audience and make a shake up. And I mean, Matt Walsh going out there and he's doing great things. There's tons of value in that. But what I think the point that needs to be made to people is don't rely on everybody else. I think you have to, in a personal way, this goes back to what I was saying earlier, your integrity day to day matters. How you present yourself to your family, to your job. That's actually how we change America. That's actually how we change the world. That's actually the fight that I think, unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to tell you this, I think, because they're hoping that you will give them more dollars to fight on your behalf because they want the dollars. And I'm not afraid to say it. Like, seriously, if I have to be a truck driver for the rest of my life and stream to whoever I can, that's fine because I want to say the things that I want to say. You know what I mean? If I have to
you're
work
doing it right
jobs,
now. Why wouldn't you do it forever for the future? You're doing it now.
Right. That's my point. If I have to work 2 jobs for the rest of my life, because that's what this is. I mean, I know you guys don't know this. I'm not trying to make, sorry for me. I probably put 40 hours a week into the streaming stuff on top of the 50 hours a week I put into my job. Maybe more sometimes, some weeks. My point is, I think people don't want to tell you that, and they want to be like, oh, no, I'll fight on your behalf. Give me your dollar. I think that that's the wrong message. I think that there's value to it, for sure. I've pointed out the value to it. Not supporting woke companies, getting people like Matt Walsh who can go out there and make these giant documentaries who can get gender clinics shut down in Tennessee. There is value to that. But I think if people aren't also telling you that the real value, the real change that we need in America starts... the Jordan Peterson message, to be honest, I'm not shilling for Jordan Peterson, but the make your bed message, probably a better message than most people are giving you because the real change starts at home. The real change starts in your own life, in the little things, in the integrity that you have at your job, at how you treat your kids. So
I just want to address something real quick.
Yeah.
Waffle commented over on Odyssey, I'm embarrassed I supported Let's Be Frank. I told him one of the most private secret stories that I have ever kept from anyone. Yeah. So if you're embarrassed, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I think a lot of people need to recognize that, at least I can tell that from the conversation that Abby did, but I treated Frank like a therapist in a tiny little bit. Like, I thought of Frank as a guy who Frank's the guy who's been around forever. And he's the conservative guy who's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. He's not going anywhere. And I can confide in him how I feel about X, Y, and Z. And he's going to bounce back some ideas and it'll all be good. And I confided in Frank on things that aren't like bad. They're not like dirt, but it's stuff that's like, what would you think about this? How would you handle this situation? Those are things that no one should be holding over your head. If you went to your friend and said, how would you handle X, Y, Y situation? You wouldn't expect in 2 years for your friend to come back to you and go, hey, I'm going to use that whole X, Y, Y to leverage you. I'm going to leverage your pain against you now. You would never think that. And how I feel, and I think maybe how Abby feels, is we've given Frank leverage, thinking that he was someone we can confide in, someone we can invest our emotional trust in. And it just becomes a guy who is willing to use that to screw you. And so all the more reason to think that the guy who holds the gospel up the tallest may not be the one holding it the highest.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Boom, roasted.
it's in a world where so many people are afraid to say out loud what they believe. And by out loud, I do mean out loud. I think a lot of people have an anonymous account on the internet that's a good outlet for them. So they feel like they're saying things out loud, but they're not. People who have things that they'll never say out loud in their real lives, in any way that matters. And so when you hear somebody saying things that you're not brave enough to say out loud because it's difficult, because you could lose your job, because of all of these things, right? It's easy to look at someone like Frank and be like, oh my gosh, he's saying everything. Right. He's saying everything I need to hear. He's saying everything I wish I could say. And feel so represented by that. And it's true for Frank. It's true for my Twitter account. It's true for Steven Crowder. It's true for the Daily Wire. And I think that a lot of times people get mad. I know people get mad at me when I don't say their opinion correctly. They won't say their own in real life, and they get mad when their representative, me, isn't saying it correctly. They get very, very angry at me if they don't hear my opinion coming out of their mouth. And I think that there's this weird relationship of hero worship that happens, that can be both toxically positive and toxically negative, where, if somebody doesn't say something correctly, they get really mad at you. But if somebody does say something consistently correctly, if somebody like Crowder consistently says a thing that you're not able to say in your real life, he becomes a god to you. It's a natural human thing. It's a normal human thing. When somebody is very, very good at saying something and seems very, very brave to say it, and we don't realize how much people like Steven and people like Frank are just profiting off of saying that thing that you can't say, and profiting off of you from it. And I think that even in trying to, like, if Frank was smart, he would have just stopped. He would have just recognized what he did, paid us back,
And fucked off.
like, and stopped and just moved on with his life. But instead, he had to try to make views out of it. He had to try to make drama out of it.
He created an open wound. He wanted to make himself a victim and hold himself open and go, I'm an open wound. Everyone come look at me. And no one did. And so it just went away. And it's awkward. It's all weird.
Yeah. It's in big ways and small ways. It's all through the conservative movement. And I think it's because so many of us are so terrified, for whatever reason, to stand up for what we believe in our real lives, whether it's because we'll lose our jobs, whether it's because we'll leave our friends and our family. But this is why we're losing.
Yeah.
Because we are not willing, for whatever reason, and some of them are more valid than others, to stand up for the things that we say that we believe in real life where it matters. And instead, we spend 40 hours a week pretending that we don't believe what we believe, building wealth for people who hate us. And then
we're not willing to
wonder,
do that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
I
I want to say that I work as an executive assistant at a conservative company. If I worked as an executive assistant
Just kidding.
at a company I work in the nonprofit space. If I worked in the for-profit space for a company that hated me, I can make between 10 and 20,000 more a year. That is a decision that I made so that I could be authentic, so that I wouldn't have to pretend to be something that I'm not, so that I could stand up for the things that I believe in. I take that monetary hit every year because I believe it is important to be able to live an authentic life. But I think too many people are just focused on, I have to work for this person who hates me because I have to have this money, because I'm not willing to take any risks, make any sacrifices to actually stand up for the things I say I believe in. And if you're not willing to make any sacrifices for the things you say you believe in, you don't actually believe them.
Yeah.
I'll say
Well,
this
look-
too. Oh, go ahead, Tom. Go ahead.
No, I'll just throw this in from the chat. Craxon Jackson says one last drink and then on to the next chapter. And then the comment
Thank you.
continues and says, let it go, guys, move on. And then come back bigger and better. And so I would like to think that maybe we can, I don't know what it is, but the three of us should get together on another different chat privately and put together some kind of a spring extravaganza, once a quarter or a once a month. I mean, I'm down to
Sure.
do a once a quarter or
We're
a once a
not.
month
We're
kind
not.
of a deal.
We're not done. We're not done streaming together. That's for sure.
For sure.
We'll
It's
be
just
doing stuff.
this channel and this show will not be what you thought it were for the last number of weeks. Is what it is. That's what this whole show is. We're telling you this show's done going forward. It will not be on this next week.
But we love each other.
For sure.
Mommy
Some
and daddy
more
are
than
getting a
others.
divorce, but it's not your fault.
Mommy and daddy love each other very much.
But we're
no,
just
you
not
guys are
friends
awesome.
anymore.
Also, shoot, there's one comment here I wanted to get to.
The only person we really don't like is PJ, but
That's true. Nobody likes me. I'll say this one last thing.
Let's not be frank. That's funny.
Well, I want to give you guys some stuff to look forward to because I feel
Yeah.
like, and again, like I know
Yeah,
this
the
has
float
been
show
a
every day
different
at
show.
5 p.m. It's sick. It's
Definitely
tight.
watch
It's
the
where everyone
float
wants
show.
to be.
Yeah, this is actually ending because Tommy shaved. That's what it is. You caught us.
That's what it
We were like,
Yep,
let's
the
keep going.
internet
And I
just
saw the
couldn't
shaved
handle it.
face. I was like, nah, man, that ain't me.
Sign
you know,
it in,
it's-
dude. Send it in. It's all done.
It's all about the facial hair, guys. I mean, seriously.
It's because
no, I think
Tommy shaved. I wish I hadn't now. Oh man, if I could bring the Pubcast back just by not having shaved my face.
there's stuff. There's stuff I want to tell you guys, and I'll just say this: stay tuned. There's things coming, but I want to, talking about stuff to look forward to. I'll tell you this much.
I'll miss you.
I'll miss you guys too, but I won't
Miss
miss you
you.
guys. We're gonna be streaming together. We're having you on the freaking conspiracy.
We say
Code
that.
soon.
We say that, but it's like friends in high school. You're like, oh, we're gonna
No,
get together,
no,
man.
it's not.
no,
No,
but
it's
we
not.
will.
I can tell
No,
you
it's
right
not.
now, Abby and I aren't gonna have a stream for another long while, and it's sad. I can see it now.
No,
PJ's just gonna phone it in.
No.
put it on the calendar, Tom. Put it
I'm
on
the guy from the
calendar.
I'm the first one from the Sandlot that they were like, this guy didn't even really become anything. They just like got rid of him, like on the
No,
I'll be offended if I'm not invited on the float show. That's all I'm saying.
Dude,
you guys
you're
heard
right.
that. You guys heard that.
It's a standing ovation. It's a
Yeah.
standing
Especially-
invitation.
Especially because me and Tom could literally stream in the same room on the
And we
float
could
show.
do it for 4 hours and not run out of anything to say.
That's true. That's true.
so true. So
It's true.
true.
So I do want to say this. Abby's been talking about some things because they're close to the vest for us. And there's some big things coming up. And I'll tell you this. We're going to put our money where our mouth is as far as it comes to fighting for people
Yes.
who have stood up for their beliefs. And I can't say what that is right now. Some people probably know. But you guys don't even know what we've been working on behind the scenes, what's coming up. And I'm telling you, we'll go to bat for you guys. That's what I'm saying. We'll go to bat
Yes.
for the people who have stood up for their beliefs and have been shot down by it. And you'll see. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to say, Abby's not speaking out of some highfalutin idea.
Yes, she is.
Of well, this is what we really think, but
Listen,
when
I'm
the
going to extract from my
when the
trust
rubber hits the
fund,
road,
and we're going to help these people who really need it the most.
Oh my
Jackson,
gosh.
Jackson.
Little spider
No.
fingers. Everyone's going to get help. No, hey, I have a quick question for you, PJ. Are you able to plug any of those bass guitars into the sound mixer
gosh.
that you have? Because someone said,
Yeah. hold on.
PJ,
I see
pick up one of
Craxton.
those bass guitars and make it sing. And you know what? I'm going to buy you some time so that you can grab the guitar and jack it in, plug it in, tune it up, and then sing us off with a little finale.
Yeah.
Because the last American Pubcast does not go off air without having played at least one PJ original. And I don't know what that's going to sound like. And I don't know if it'll even work, but we're buying time. Abby, do you have anything you want to shout out? Anything in your links in the description of your channel below? Any last links you want to send out? Conspiracy pilled tips, etc.
Yeah. Well, definitely follow the float show if you're not, because if you're not, what are you
I'll
doing?
do my
What are
own. Thank you. I
doing?
appreciate that, but I'll do mine. Just kidding.
Okay, Tom. Follow Conspiracy Pills on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, all of them. We're really close to 2,000 subs on YouTube, so it'd be really fun to
Hey.
get over that line. And yeah, I'm on Twitter. I'm at Abby the Lib _, on Twitter. PJ is barely on Twitter. No, he's
Abby's cool on
PJ
Twitter.
_Patriot. I when this thing that we've been working on drops, you guys, one of our friends has been in pretty serious trouble with her job because she was brave enough to stand up for what she believes in real life. And all of our energy and all of our power is in this friend's corner. So we're gonna watch that happen, and he's just gonna play for us.
Yeah. And
I have no idea if this will work or sound good. It's not
just-
really built to plug a bass into this thing, but we could try it. Can you guys hear that?
yeah, baby. Feed me.
It doesn't sound good, but I'll try.
Keep fucking ripping it, dude. It sounds great.
It sounds a little dead, but it's not
That's
really
fine.
a bass amp, but it's you can hear it, but it doesn't sound right. So I don't know.
It only doesn't sound right to you because you're a musician. The rest of
What's
us are like, that's a bass. Yay!
Yeah, it sounds
wow.
a little flat, but I
What
don't
do you
know.
mean?
That's
Keep
it.
ripping, dude. Keep going. I was on
He
mute
is
the
like a
whole time. I
drum
was just dying. Sorry. Go ahead.
This is so based.
Best. Oh, Wazzer Waffle. Can Tom freestyle to the bass though? Yeah, of course we could. But you know what? That's going to be at a time when I go over to PJ's house and I'm next to the bass
Yes.
because there's no chance in hell that I'm going to depend on the delay from 45 minutes away on the internet and then hope that my raps will just hit land on the downvote, on the down notes. No. The downbeat, I have to be in the room with it, but I will absolutely freestyle rap down a little
Totally.
bass line and I'm in the room with it. I'm going to be doing these raps.
This is my newest bass. It's the last one I'll play.
Can you do
Is
it?
that working?
Are you taking requests? Because John Stevenson's going to have one for you.
Oh gosh, no. I'd have to look up the
No.
song, dude.
Do you know any like really obvious bass lines that everyone's going to be like, oh, you're really good at bass if you can play it?
Maybe. Oh gosh.
Like what's
Now
one
I'm
that if I
literally
was like,
forgetting the song.
okay, PJ, look me in the eye. Hey, my mom's coming over. Can you show her how good you are? Oh, I know that song. Hello,
dude.
you. How is it? No, that's Yellow Card, right?
Which one? Yellow Card? Which
The
one's
one
Yellow
you just
Card?
played. You just played a bass line.
Oh no, it wasn't Yellow Card. I was trying to remember a Nirvana bass line and I forgot it. So I don't know, man. I don't play much anymore.
Stop. Turn.
Dude, I've been playing drums lately. I have not played like these have become wall decorations over the last 6 months. I used to play
Okay,
all
dude,
the time.
Yellow Card, Lights and Sounds. You were just
Oh,
playing
shit.
the bass line to Yellow Card, Lights and Sounds.
I
And you
wasn't,
don't have
but
to
I
hear
could
me
look
now.
it up.
No, you well, you say you weren't. You were. You just didn't know that you were. Because when you heard, I just said, oh, what are you playing right now? And my eidetic eardrum, which can't be wrong, because it's the one thing that's like ought about me. I have eidetic hearing. I heard it. I heard it again perfectly. You played it. That's the thing. That's what it was. I didn't make a mistake. You just played it.
Oh, I don't have a guitar in the right tuning for that.
You don't need it. Play it. Play that song.
I literally don't have one in the right tuning.
You have Lights and Sounds by the Yellow Card. That you were just playing that bass line, like the equivalent of the bass line. You don't have to play it from your screen. Just play the song. I don't
know it.
What I'm saying to you is that I don't have the production on this side of the screen. You are able to put things on the screen, and I don't have the ability. Do you get what I'm saying yet?
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
I would have pulled the song up already to show you. You were just playing that, but
I'll show you what I was actually trying to play. I remembered it now. Yeah, it doesn't sound good. It just sounds so flat on this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like a skateboard going sideways. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's been so long since I
DJ,
played.
we should get together and create like a silly mixtape that we're not ever planning to put out, but then we put it out because it's going to become giant. I'm telling you. We just create each little layer of the track, and then we put it together, and it's like a minute and a half of just people going, yeah!
Let's do it.
And
anyway, I don't remember. I literally don't play much anymore, man.
well, we can figure it out.
Yeah, anyway. I'm kind of sloppy now. That's what you guys do. Normally I finish the show with 2 drinks. Tonight I've had 3. Now you got me playing bass.
I'm doing the whole drum kit over here. You're just not going with it.
I got a drum kit here, man. That's what I'm saying.
I'm coming over. I just haven't had the invite yet. I'm waiting.
I know.
I am completely sober. How dare you suggest otherwise?
I didn't. I thought you were sober. You were very well behaved.
I try. I do try.
Literally, I'm sitting on a drum
can you
throne
please?
right now.
Can you please look at lights and sounds? Just listen to it. Just put that on so that everyone on the stream can hear Lights and Sounds by Yellow Card. Like the first 10 seconds. If they hear it, they're gonna go, we know what Tom meant. And if you don't play it, then I'm gonna look like an idiot. God, so stupid.
Music sound?
Yes,
Yeah,
I have
hold
no
on.
sound.
I had to switch. Hold on. You guys. I got to switch things around now.
I have
You
no
guys are
snare.
messing me up. Let's see. What is this? USB 2? Is that what I had it on? I think. Nope, I still screwed it up. I'll figure this out eventually.
Abby, you're welcome on the float show anytime. We'd love to have you.
I would love to be
And
on it.
the people that watch the float show love you. I love you. We'd love to have you on. So don't have to worry about that. Anytime you just bounce on over and we'll pick you up.
Okay.
I found it. I found the song. This one?
This is what you were playing the bass line of.
It did sound kind of like that. Yeah, I like it, dude.
I was just playing the drums.
Dig it. You guys are too awesome.
Oh,
I
Lordy.
wanted so much to play a musical instrument, and I tried so hard.
You came to my house and played ukulele.
Do you see that right there in the box down
Barely.
below? Oh no, you can't see it. It's the trumpet. I got a little trumpet down there. A little bit of ska. You guys want to play some ska sometime? Let me know.
You know what? That's the one type of band I've
Warm
never
that
been
up.
in that I want to be. I want to be in a ska band.
Dude, everyone hates ska bands, but you love being in one, you know?
I don't care. I like ska. Deal with it.
Oh man. I
Yeah,
had
I
a
think it's
ska
bigger.
band pulled up. I was listening to them before this. What were they called? Oh Jesus.
What?
they
John
were-
tells me that you hate anything metal or rap. You know, that hurts me too, John, because I was a metal musician for years and I tried to show Abby my music. She's like, yeah, that's a thing. That's music, I guess.
Okay. Let me just be clear. I said I don't like metal, but I can absolutely see how much talent that goes into this.
All right. You know what? You're making me do
Oh,
it.
wait,
You're
you
making
know
me
what?
do it. I'm going to play,
There was
before we end this,
the
I'm
Mighty
actually
Mighty
going to play a
Boss
song.
Tones. Hang on. Not that one. You got to go with this one because this is the no. You got to go with the quintessential.
I will literally play you guys a song
No,
that I
this is
recorded.
it. No,
Do it.
If you want.
Yeah, no, go ahead. That if you recorded
that.
one,
That's
I'd
good.
rather hear that than the one I sent you.
I'll do it. This was a band I did 10 years ago.
Did a whole band?
This is a band I was in 10 years ago. It's the last song I ever recorded. So, and I never play this for anybody. But you know
Thanks,
what? You
I
guys
hate
got
it.
a few drinks in me. We're having too much fun.
We're gonna. I'm
And
gonna
I
love
think
this.
I think I'll only play
Hey,
because
hang
Abby
on.
will hate it.
Hang on. Don't play it yet. Don't play it yet. Don't play it
Okay.
yet. Just wait like 5 seconds. This is way too long. Let me make sure that's recording.
Is he recording? It's literally on
Okay,
YouTube.
yeah.
You
Go
can
ahead.
see, like anybody could find it now. It's
Go ahead.
on the screen.
I wanted this audio.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, you guys get the point.
I think that was something, and it was
I
very well
told you.
produced.
I told you it was something.
I'm
knew
not
you
gonna
guys
lie,
didn't like metal.
that isn't my kind of music, but I do appreciate that it was well produced. I can recognize that.
That's what I said.
Hearing it, I was gonna say I could recognize that it was well produced. There was no it was mixed well. Whoever mixed it did a very nice job. I can say that.
Let me play you one more thing because you guys asked me to play bass, and this was my favorite bass line ever recorded. It's like 10 seconds in, and then I'll stop pestering with my terrible
I don't
music.
just
do
sing,
it.
though.
Do
And I
it.
didn't know
Okay.
that.
Share it.
This actually was the last song. We recorded these the same day, but this was
This
the
is
last
your
song I ever
bass?
recorded. Yeah, and vocals. It's like 30 seconds in.
Nah, cut.
Hold on. It's right here. It's coming. This one part. Wow, it's cut out like half the way, but that was my favorite part.
I'm sorry. I'll stop talking, but that can't be you. That's too good.
That's my bass and vocals
So
on this one.
mean.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm trying to pay a
That can't be
compliment.
you.
This is
That's
a guy
too
paying a guy a compliment. I'm like, hey, ribbing. Abby's taking it like a shot in the eye. I'm giving him a shot in the elbow. Come on.
I
All
want to see
right,
if this
play
part
the
will
bass
play.
part.
Hold on, I want to see if
PJ,
they'll play
that's
the bass
very
part one more
good.
time.
PJ, that's very good. Can you
I
take the
appreciate
compliment?
it.
All right, pick it.
I take it. It keeps cutting. My internet's slow after I'm running off this welfare Wi-Fi over here, but you guys can look it up if you want. But it was this bass sweep I did where it was like all the way down and all the way up the strings. I thought it was cool, but I don't know. Anyway,
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
did Lit like it? That's the only thing I care about.
Did
Suddenly
Lit
have
like
mad
it?
respect for PJ.
Oh.
All right, see, that's all I care about.
See, PJ's
Making Jess happy.
We're 20 minutes over our allotted
I'm
time.
sorry, guys.
And I'm just gonna say it again. PJ is wowing us all. These are things we wish we'd have known months ago. Maybe we'd have kept the show together. If we had known PJ was talented,
I know, and now you guys finally found out. After.
Jesus, we could have incorporated that instead.
Who would have known PJ had a talent at anything?
At no point have we ever deserved PJ. Like
No,
at
because
no
he's way too good at all of this. He's good at the thumbnails. He's good at the intro, talking, outros. He's meant for streaming, so it's not fair that we have him on this one. But PJ, you are in Michigan, so anytime you want to go and do a little bit of yakking out on a Grand River,
Dude,
you want to go do
we
some
need to.
kayaking, you're welcome to come on over.
You
we have
are
2 of
not
them.
allowed to kayak without me. I will drive out there and kayak with you.
Then do it. Then
PJ
do
is
it.
welcome
I
to come
will.
on over.
He didn't say Abby was welcome. He said
Yeah,
I
Abby
was.
can come over if she has a
I'm-
boat. You got
I'm
a boat?
coming. I don't have a boat.
I'll tell you
But
this: you can stay in the basement because the nursery's upstairs. No,
Gross.
so like you and John, what? You and John can have the room in the basement. It's a
Oh.
spare room in the
You know
basement.
what?
All right.
I've been outdone, guys.
Perfect. Sorry.
No, PJ slept in the room upstairs that PJ had like this spare room. That's going to be turned into the nursery. And in
That's
the
Joe
future, the
Biden on
basement that I'm
base.
in right now
That's
will be
perfect.
turned into the
That's
spare room.
perfect. Sorry. I thought I was making a funny joke, but I'm really just drunk.
Oh, that's same.
I know. I'm, you know. Anyway, we should probably
We're
before
going to make
embarrass
this go until
myself
11
more.
o'clock. So everyone keep sending your links of good news that's coming in.
All right, I have a job I have to go to, unfortunately, but you guys are awesome.
Jeez.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
we love
you
you
know.
all for watching. Thank you for being here. God bless you for liking the shows, sharing a link to each of them, subscribing to Conspiracy Pilled, to Abby Libby, to Tom at America Floats, and PJ Williams. Thank you all for patronizing us, for subscribing to each of us, for putting up with our horse shit. And for thanking and thinking with us, for being here to think through all the smart things, the dumb things, and the ones in between. We appreciate you. God bless you. I know I won't forget it.
Yeah.
I won't either. You guys have been absolutely amazing. And I appreciate the two of you that are on screen here with me a lot. Seriously. It's been a crazy year. You guys know stuff behind the scenes and other things. You guys have been seriously, and Katie Zed and Jess as well have been like highlights of my last year. So, and all of you guys in chat have been absolutely amazing. We will see you guys next time. Don't forget to check out the Float Show every week, every day of the week, and the Trump cards. We got to play that together, dude. I'm coming over.
It.
I'm coming
Let's
over.
do it on Hawkhound Gaming.
Come
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's
Let's
do
make
it.
a game night
Let's
of
do
it.
If you
All
guys
right.
want to see a Trump card stream, let us know.
We'll get
And
like a
don't
4-camera setup and we'll do it.
Let's do it.
It'd be
All
awesome.
right, we will do that. We will. Don't forget to check out America Floats, and please, if you can, go like and subscribe. All the stuff from Conspiracy Pilled. We work really hard at it. We appreciate you guys. Till next time, God bless everyone. Peace out.